audio record and you can video record, but only me, not anyone else. You cannot video record anyone on the witness stand. You cannot video record the opposing party. You cannot video record anyone else in the courtroom. Is that clear, Mr. Brown?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
So, and I'll just ask all the people when they go to the witness stand to come behind me.
Yeah.
Just not to walk in front, because I had
Yes.
that problem where the prosecutor walks right in front and I can't stop that.
I understand. So we'll have your recorder visible. People will be able to see where they can avoid it. Yes, Mr. Moore.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'm only concerned about one thing, and that is how do we ensure that he's not violating the court's order?
Well, I think
I'm not sure what safeguards are in place or what safeguards can be put in place to ensure that he doesn't abuse or overstep your authority in the order.
So, Mr. Brown, it looks to me like you're setting up the stand there.
Correct.
And that phone right there is going to be the one used to video and audio record?
Yes.
Okay.
And I'm
so your
gonna-
other phone, I'm going to need you to turn that one off or turn it upside down. Maybe we just need to ensure that there's not another device. And that's why I've asked everyone in the gallery to also place your phones next to you. I don't want to have to confiscate people's phones. I know that they are important to individuals, but I will have to take such action if I feel that my order is not being followed. Okay, so I need everyone to place their phones next to them on the bench and put them in the off mode. All right. And certainly if you feel, Mr. Lomazano, that somebody is not following the order within the courtroom, feel free to let me know immediately.
Well, I'm not afraid of anybody that's in the courtroom behind me, Your Honor. They're all gonna be witnesses for our side. But I would ask that Mr. Brown be required to submit the recording that he does make for your inspection at the termination of the proceedings today.
Okay. So Mr. Brown, I'll need to get a copy of the audiovisual recording to ensure that you have followed the order, that it is just to record me and not anyone else. You know, and
Yeah, this is right here pointing at you, and I even raised it up so that way if people do walk by, they won't get you. So
I agree.
if nobody walks in front of it, this is what it is. So he could come and look at it right now and
Okay.
see where it's at, right there.
So it does appear to just be directed at me, and
And he can see from here.
It doesn't appear that it has the ability to move. Is it stationary?
And I'll put it up here so I can't even touch it.
How do we know he's not recording the audio of this portion, Your Honor?
Well, I'm
Well, he's just-
allowing him to record.
I can
audio.
record audio. I gave.
You're allowing him to record all audio, but only video of you.
Correct.
I'll object. I'll renew my objection, Your Honor.
I think that the video portion is what would be more obstructive, distracting, and chilling to the proceedings, particularly given the fact that this is audio recorded and taken by the court. The FTR is running, it is running effectively. We have tested it many times. All of the people that are in the vicinity of a microphone are being picked up. So I will, over your objection, allow the audio recording in the room by Mr. Brown, but only video recording of me.
And I'll just make a record, Your Honor, on your ruling, and that is, this is viewed as a continuing pattern of harassment. And it's our concern that he's gonna turn around and post his audio on social media. He has a website, and he posts everything on it. So that's our concern, Your Honor.
I understand the concern, but despite that, I am finding that in this space, in the public courtroom, given his timely notice that it is it is going to be allowed that he be able to audio record, the entire proceeding, but only video record me. Okay, Mr. Brown?
Yes.
Right, you have another preliminary matter, and that
Yes, sir.
is, Mr. Brown served subpoenas on pretty much everybody, I think, in the back of the courtroom here.
Yes, I have.
And, I believe pursuant to Rule 45, he's supposed to produce a witness fee, an attendance fee, and a mileage fee, and I don't believe anybody was tendered any fees to appear today, so I would move to quash any and all subpoenas that he supposedly issued and served upon people in the courtroom, Your Honor.
Okay, and Mr. Brown, is that correct under Rule 45? So this is a civil proceeding and comports with the rules of civil procedure. This is not a criminal action, and in civil proceedings, Mr. Brown, there are fees that must be tendered and supplied to witnesses that are subpoenaed under Rule 45. Have you complied with that portion of the subpoenaing requirement?
I believe I did. I'm gonna have to go back and look and see what they're talking about. But I did everything that was required of me.
So
So,
you've tendered the witnesses?
I believe I
that-
did. I have to go. And what does that entail? That was down there at the office, right?
So I have the paperwork, but in civil matters, when you subpoena a witness, you have to pay them a fee under Rule 45 of the rules.
Okay, so
of
we
civil
can do that. It has to be prior to, or, so we can make arrangements to have that happen.
Yes,
The rule requires that the fee be tendered at the time the subpoena is served, Your Honor, and I don't believe that was complied with in this
So
case.
it was at the time that they were served, they should have been paid their fee. And I'm getting information from the plaintiff that was not, the fee was not tendered at that time.
So, I have an issue too. Do we have to make sure this he's not here? This Chris Garay?
Okay, well, if I'm going to find that you haven't effectuated the service properly, then I would be inclined to quash the warrants, the subpoenas, and allow all of these people to leave because you haven't properly effectuated the service because you did not tender the fee at the time of service under Rule 45 of the Rules of Civil Procedure.
He just said that he's gonna use them as his witness, all these people.
Well, that may be, and if they have come on their own free will for Mr. Lamasano, then they're not under subpoena and he is not required under the rules of civil procedure to pay them. But because you subpoenaed them, you have to follow the subpoena rules, which require that you pay them at the time they are served.
And what is that fee?
So it's under Rule 45 of the Rules of Civil Procedure, because this is a civil matter, and you would need to follow those rules.
Yeah, and what was the fee again?
Well, the fee is under Rule 45.
You don't know what the number
I'm not here to
is?
give you legal advice.
I'm just asking simply, what's the fee? What is it?
Well, you can look up Rule 45 and it gives you all the details there. I'm the judge in this case, Mr. Brown, I can't give you.
I'm just asking the
advice.
number. I'm just asking the number.
Well,
How much per person? What was
At
it?
this juncture, Mr. Brown, it's irrelevant because it should have been paid at the time they were served. Okay? And that was not complied with. I think my other concern here, there are the rules of civil procedure and then there are the rules for procedure in injunction against harassment cases, which don't allow for cumulative testimony, it's looking to be as efficient as possible because the court system is very bogged down with cases. So if we have 10 people getting up to talk about exactly the same thing, that is likely to be cumulative. So there is unlikely to be a need to hear from each of those individuals about exactly the same thing.
Okay, I have some preliminary things to talk about too, so we'll just go ahead and roll on that and we'll get on
We're not done with
with
this matter yet either.
Yes.
So, because the, fee under Rule 45 was not paid, and it's to, Tracy Ekino, Victoria Barnett, Ben Breshenhan, Mike Jacob, Vincent,
That would be me, Your Honor.
oh, that's you, yes. Victor Ortiz, Chris Garay, Adela Gonzalez, and Russell Pillow. I would find that, these subpoenas do not comport then with the rules of civil procedure and subpoenaing witnesses under Rule 45. So I will quash all of those subpoenas and allow those individuals to leave. You're more than welcome to stay. It is a public courtroom. If you would like, I'm happy to have anyone, here in the courtroom, but you are not under subpoena to attend at this juncture.
Thank you, Your Honor. I have one more backup as to the subpoena allegedly served, and that is Rule 45 also provides that a party may contest the service of the subpoena. But Mr. Brown, this is a document that was served to Russ Dill, and I believe it's the same and consistent, the pattern throughout all the subpoenas is that he rubbed out his address. So anybody who wishes to protest the requirement of the subpoena or come in and testify is basically not given the opportunity to do that because there's no address without coming here to court to find out his address. So that's another procedural defect I'd like to point out to the court. I would also point out secondarily, Your Honor, it's my intention to invoke the rule in this case.
Okay.
I understand the court's concern about cumulative testimony. I'd like to keep it to 3 or 4 people, maybe 4 or 5 max. I think after that point, the court would find that any testimony is cumulative, and so it's not my intention to bog down the court system any more than is necessary to meet our burden of proof in this case, Your Honor.
Absolutely. I'm happy to, hear and accept your witnesses, but yes, keeping in mind that if it becomes cumulative, that at that point is unnecessary.
Yeah, I don't think my reputation is one for dragging things out. I'm pretty straightforward.
I appreciate that.
Thank you, Judge. So here's what I would propose to do at this time. Now that I've invoked the rule, all the witnesses will be excused from the courtroom. But I may not be calling all of them, and I'm not sure which one I'm gonna.
That's fine.
I think I have top 4 that I'm gonna call, and after that, probably not so much.
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, the rule has been invoked in this case, which means that witnesses that are likely to be testifying or maybe called as a witness in this case cannot hear the testimony of the other witnesses, nor can you talk to the other witnesses about your testimony once you have testified. So I will require that you wait out in the hall. This is ostensibly the one exception to a public courtroom, is if you are a witness, then you cannot be in the courtroom. You have to wait in the hall, and we will call you in individually to testify. Once you have testified, and if you are not likely to be recalled in any fashion, then I can release you from the rule and you can remain in the courtroom. But until that point in time, I will need all the witnesses to remove themselves from the courtroom, so that we will call you in individually. And I will also note for the record that I see on the subpoenas that, Mr. Brown had marked out his address, which
Can I
was not the
address
case
that?
when I signed these subpoenas.
Thank you, Judge, I appreciate that.
Sure. Yes, Mr. Brown, you can speak.
Yeah, so when I was down there, I asked him, these people are the ones harassing me. I didn't want them to have my address. they already got my address at the level of the administration and the commander here. They already had my address, but all these people, I didn't want to give it to them, so I told them that I'd mark it off for that reason, you know. And I'm a member of the American Legion Post 7 too, so I could just as well use that address, and they have communication, all my phone number, everything with me. So they sent me several, you know, I've been harassed by this for a long time. So they have my information. They know how to get me. They know how to, they sent me, they tried to serve me at this address, but then they served me actually at the police department, you know, which most of these people here attacked me, went and broke all my equipment. That's why I don't have my good equipment, because it all got broken by these people before I was served. I wasn't served till the 11th. So, and I have a few more preliminary items to talk about too.
Oh, well, when you're subpoenaing individuals, the rules require that you put your address on there so that they can protest and contest it. And that was not complied with. So I will find that was further deficient in these subpoenas. Okay, and Mr. Brown, what are the other preliminary matters that you would like to raise?
Okay, I would like to have this moved to another court. The city of Tucson Police, and now these guys are getting in between, you know, my beef with Tucson Police and Tucson City Court. This is my fourth injunction against workplace harassment. The plaintiff and all the other ones was the Tucson City Court and Tucson Police Department. And this was moved to the county court, so every single one of them I had to fight, all the same thing, recording. And they're using 122.1 as their excuse of why you can't record. 122.1 is not in effect over at the American Legion, and 122.1 is why all this is happening. You know, 3 times. Three of the times there, the last time was with Christopher Avery. All employees of Tucson City Court was the one as the plaintiff, with the county being the court. And on the last one, which Christopher Avery was representing Christopher Hale, who was then the court administrator. Tucson City Court's biased against me because they drugged me through that process, and then I subpoenaed all the witnesses, which were mostly court employees, including the number 2 guy and the court security here, and like 6 of your employees and 3 of your Tucson police officers, and they all showed up, but then Christopher Avery didn't. The last one, I went through all that process, and then they just dropped it by not showing up. It's the exact same thing for filming. All this is about filming. The judge that assigned this is crazy because there's no harassment here. Filming's not harassment. I have to film because they're harassing me. So
I think we're getting into the meat of the hearing.
But that's why this court has to excuse itself. And you yourself, you convicted my friend of what I said. I said Tucson police suck. You convicted him for that. You said that in your sentencing right there. You're extremely biased against me. So I have a big problem moving on with that, because if he was here today, you know, sitting back there, if I was wearing my Tucson police suck shirt, you would get him for disorderly conduct, because you already did that. Let me fix this, ma'am. So I'm just asking to change the venue and definitely a change the judge.
Go ahead.
Your Honor, I guess this is Mr. Brown's motion for a change of venue. I don't have any problem with you proceeding with this. However, if the judge is likely to entertain his motion for a change of venue, that would be on you, but I would ask that your order remain in effect and that he not be allowed to come to the post, and that the injunction that he not have any contact with A. Rodriguez or American Legion Post 7 remain in force until such time as he has another hearing. But for the record, I object. I'm happy to have the venue here, and I'm happy to proceed today. I also think that Mr. Brown is treading on a line of making my case of showing he has a pattern of harassment, so you may want to think about what he's saying. Thank you, Your Honor.
Recording is not harassment, Your Honor.
Okay.
And recording somebody harassing me is not harassment.
Sit down.
I was gonna stand up a second, I have a back problem, so once I get up, I have to sit back down, I gotta stay a long time, I have a hard time getting back up, so.
Okay, if it is better for you medically.
No, I'll sit back down.
Stand
I wish you had higher chairs.
There should be levers on the side that allow them to kind of go up or
Yeah.
down. I don't know if that's as high up as those go. I
Yeah.
can't see from here very well.
So, but I have a couple more things to say before you roll on this.
Well, I need to,
Okay.
oh, you have more to say on this
Yes,
situation?
yeah, because,
Go
I
ahead.
mean, the other issues is I went to testify in Roy's hearing, and I was going over my pattern of harassment of Tucson Police Department, you know, and you stopped me right in the middle of it. I didn't even get to the part that involved all of city court.
This is outside of the scope of today's hearing. This pertains to an injunction against harassment that was issued in favor of American Legion Post 7. Any extraneous matters that Mr. Brown may have to address, he'll have to address them at another time with another court, but this is not the proper time.
But this is why we can't continue with you as a judge. That's why I'm trying to say this, because all this that happened, you found him guilty for what I said, because I said Tucson police suck.
That's not true.
You said that, ma'am, you said that
So-
in the sentencing, you said that straight out, you know, and
Mr.
it was recorded.
Okay, it's
So-
my turn now.
Okay,
I've given you an opportunity. I am going to deny your motion for change of venue. The prior criminal matter with Roy Tripolini, you were a witness in that matter. That was entirely separate. That was a criminal matter. The court finds that there is no bias. It is my job to hear from witnesses and make determinations on whether the state in that circumstance or the plaintiff in this circumstance meets their burden of proof. This is an entirely separate issue and an entirely separate set of facts that I will make a determination upon. I will not take into account or consider anything about Mr. Tripolini's matter that occurred several months ago. The court hears cases every day of entirely separate circumstances, and I am able to look at them in their individual circumstances and not take into account anything else extraneous to them. I can do that here. Because you were just a witness in that case, I don't find that there is any kind of prejudice or bias or information that was gathered in that case that would somehow not be admissible in this case because they're entirely separate circumstances. And I think particularly the rules of procedure in these kinds of hearings that are before the court today in this matter, they must be curtailed simply to the information provided in the original complaint. So we can't go outside of that information. The rules are very clear on that. So talking about separate dates, separate incidents, separate locations is not allowed, nor can I consider anything of that nature. So I am absolutely capable of just looking at the incidences alleged in this case and determining if the preponderance standard is met by the plaintiff or not. Okay? So I'm denying the motion for change of venue. And do you have another preliminary matter?
yes, so, and on this, he was gonna be one of the witnesses. How can he represent him? I was under the impression that Abe was gonna be representing himself.
Well, he
And
has
and he-
entered his appearance.
But I had noticed it just now. But when we got here, I didn't have any prior notice.
Well, that's fine. He has provided his notice here today. These hearings are set on very tight timelines to allow the parties to have final resolution as quickly as possible. There is no requirement that, Mr. Lozano enter his appearance before today. He's provided you notice of his entry. I quashed the subpoena, because it was not perfected properly. And Mr. Lozano can absolutely, represent, Mr. Rodriguez and the American Legion Post 7, as an attorney. He can do that. So I'm allowing that to proceed forward. And did you want to put anything on the record, Mr. Lozano?
I filed as a member in good standing of the Arizona Bar, I filed my notice of appearance. He has noticed that I represent the Post and Nate Rodriguez. I've complied with my obligations pursuant to law.
I agree. Okay, Mr. Brown, any other issues before we get started?
Let's see here. Can we go initially on, we're gonna talk about the harassment. I mean, does this meet the requirements of just I'm recording? There's nothing here other than I'm recording.
That's why we're having this hearing. But the plaintiff here has the burden of proof by preponderance of the evidence. So I will allow them to present their witnesses first because they bear that burden. Then I will allow you to make a presentation, take the stand if you'd like, and give your side. And then I'll allow some additional questions beyond that. But we need to give them the platform and opportunity to see if they can prove their case or not. That's why we have this hearing, okay?
Yes, sir, I wanna make sure my objection's solid on, I do not want you being the judge in this case, but just make sure I do object to that.
I understand, and I am over your objection, keeping this case and hearing the case, and I'm denying your motion for change of venue. Okay? All right, so it sounds like we are now ready to proceed. Mr. Lozano, you may call your first witness.
I will, Your Honor. Before I do that, I noticed that there's somebody in the courtroom who left after I invoked the rule. I assume this means he won't be testifying, if that's
Yes,
indeed the fact.
sir, could I have your name, please?
David Croto?
David Croto?
Yes.
And Mr. Brown, is Mr. Croto anticipated to be a witness in your case?
I'm not sure yet, but we probably should have him go out, cause,
Okay, so Mr. Croto, it sounds like Mr. Brown may be calling you as a witness. I don't, know that is definitive, but if that is a potentiality, you must comply with the rule and be outside of the courtroom for other witness testimony.
And thank you, ma'am. Thank you for accepting this new venue, because this is a whole new thing for all of us as far as reporting and what we have rights to do. I appreciate you taking a very close examination of this.
Thank you. Okay.
We'll call Mr. Abraham Rodriguez, please.
Okay, Mr. Rodriguez, come on up, go ahead, go back around this way, and you can, before you have a seat, I'm gonna place you under oath. All right, so raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, go ahead and have a seat, please, sir. All right, Mr. Lozano, this is your witness.
Thank you, Judge. Can you please state your name, please?
Abraham Lopez Rodriguez.
And you hold the position at American Legion Post 7?
I'm the commander of American Legion Post 7. Took office on June 30th, 2023.
And what are your obligations as the commander of American Legion Post 7?
Basically, I am in charge of running the post. I represent the members, not only of the American Legion, but members of the auxiliary. And I run all the committees. I'm in charge of the operations of the post, which includes the social quarters, the bar area, the hall, any committees. And basically, if there's an issue, I'm supposed to listen to what the members have to say, and I represent them from all four entities. And if there's any problems, I'm the mediator, and I try and resolve problems, not only with the membership, but with the community as well.
Did you serve our country?
Yes, I did. I spent 23.5 years in the Navy Reserves. I got activated during Desert Storm. I got activated during Iraqi Freedom. I spent 9 months in Iraq. I got activated in January 4th of 2004, and I deployed to Kuwait City and then there to Iraq, and I was there until 9/11 of 2004.
Thank you for your service. As part of your duties as the commander of American Legion Post 7, are you also in charge of or responsible for the safety of your members?
Yes, I am.
Are you tolerant of people harassing the membership?
I try and diffuse the situation. If I have somebody come up to me and tell me that they're being harassed by a certain individual or groups, I try and mediate it and talk to both sides, get both sides of the story, and I make my judgment call on that.
Well, let's keep on this theme of harassment. At some point in time, as commander of American Legion Post 7, was it brought to your attention, or were you aware of the fact that Mark Brown had come into the post and tried to tape the proceedings?
Yes, I've been approached by several members stating that they don't want to be recorded for different reasons. I myself have asked Mr. Brown on several occasions not to record me because I don't want to be recorded, because I know that it's going to end up on the internet. A lot of my members are combat vets, and they suffer from PTSD, and they go to the post to relax and have a good time, but they feel that they're being harassed because Mr. Brown doesn't listen to them, even though they've asked him personally not to videotape them, and he continues to do that.
When was the first time that you recall him coming to the post and being asked to stop? You have asked him to stop on numerous occasions?
Yes, I have.
When was the first time that you can recall him coming to the post and making recordings without authorization?
I object.
It started,
Okay, what's your objection?
Are we talking about just these 2 days, or are we gonna be talking about everything? I just wanna know, so can I talk about everything, or just, are we talking about the 16th and the 20th? That's the only 2 days they got marked on here.
So we have the 16th and the 20th.
But there are incidents that led to the coming to the court seeking an injunction that occurred prior to, so I'm trying to lay foundation for why he went and got the injunction against harassment.
It's not on these
in the
dates.
first place.
So I do think that under the rules for these particular kinds of hearings, it is very clear that the harassing behavior is confined to the dates listed in the petition itself. So if we could keep the incidences to, or the testimony to the 16th and the 20th as is listed in the petitions.
Do you recall what happened on September 16th at the post?
yes, Mr. Brown came in, and he was recording, he started recording in the parking lot. And he continued to record inside the building. I myself asked Mr. Brown to stop recording because some of the members came up to me and told me that he was recording and they didn't want them to record.
Prior to his entry on the 16th and commencing to record the proceedings, did you, as the commander, post signs on the entrances to American Legion Post 7 that no audio or video recording would be authorized?
Yes.
Without permission?
I posted them in September. I ordered them September 4th. They were delivered to my residence the following Saturday.
Which would have been, if you recall?
I would need to look at the calendar.
Do you recall what date you posted these signs that say no audio or video recording?
It was at, the following Wednesday, which is, I need to look at the calendar so I can tell you the exact.
So you got the posters on the 4th?
I ordered them on the 4th. They were delivered on Saturday, the following Saturday.
Saturday the 9th?
And then I posted them, the following Wednesday.
The following Wednesday would have been September 13th?
That is correct.
I'm gonna show you, 2 photographs. I'm gonna ask you if you recognize them, and if you could tell me, may I approach Ron?
Can you?
You walk
show
behind me.
Mr. Brown first?
I'll give him 2 copies, and I'll approach with another 2. And are there 2?
I would walk
that are
behind you.
marked
So, yes,
already?
these are the
Okay,
marked
thank
exhibits.
you.
I use the same, so if you could actually use marked exhibits and refer to them by the exhibit.
Okay.
And then you may wanna walk behind Mr.
I'm gonna show you what's been marked as plaintiff's exhibit 1. Can you look at that picture and tell me what that shows?
Yeah, it shows a sign that says no audio or video recording without express permission.
And that's that,
That's located in the main entrance of the American Legion.
and despite the fact that there's a Halloween skeleton that was posted on the 13th of September.
Yes.
And I'm gonna show you what's been marked as plaintiff's exhibit number 2. Can you tell me what that is?
Yeah, it's a sign that's posted on the entrance to the hall, where it says no audio or video recording without express permission.
And was this also a sign that you posted on the 13th of September?
I did not post them. I had my chaplain post them, which was Mr. Chris Gutierrez.
But they were
he
posted on
he-
September 13th?
Yes, and that was with my permission.
And these are true and accurate representations of the entrance to the post as of September 13th, 2023?
That is correct.
Your Honor, I'm gonna move for the entrance of exhibits 1 and 2.
All right, any objection, Mr. Brown?
I don't see the relevance. There ain't no statute on there. It just says no audio, video recording.
Well, I will find that they are relevant to, the circumstances of potential harassment in this case, so I will admit exhibits 1 and 2.
Thank you, Your Honor. So now let's get to September 16th. Is that a meeting of the membership of the Post?
September 16th.
It's a Saturday.
Yes, that's our general membership meeting.
And did Mr. Brown come in and attempt to record the proceedings?
Yes, he did.
And he came in through the front doors where it says no audio recording allowed, no
That is
video?
correct. That is correct.
And was he also asked by your sergeant, you or your sergeant of arms or somebody in a position of authority to cease and desist and not tape?
Yes, he was asked by my sergeant at arms, which is Mr. Victor Ortiz.
And did he
Objection,
comply?
hearsay.
Did he comply?
Hold on. The rules of evidence in these kinds of proceedings are relaxed, so hearsay will be allowed.
Your Honor, I have Mr. Garay outside, Garay and Mr. Ortiz, so if you have concerns about hearsay, I can get direct testimony from Mr. Ortiz. Thank you, Your Honor. So, to the best of your knowledge, Mr. Brown was asked to stop taping,
That is correct.
and what was the result of your request that he stop taping?
He supposedly turned off the camera, which was not true. And he kept on recording our meeting, which our meetings are private. They're not supposed to be recorded, because we could be talking about finances or disciplinary actions. So, they're private. They're only supposed to be attended by members in good standing of American Legion Post 7, which later on we found out that he had posted the meeting, the whole proceedings of the meetings on YouTube, which they're still posted.
Do you consider unauthorized video taping and then posting on YouTube harassment?
Yes, I do.
If I may, Your Honor, I have a YouTube video, I believe, of that incident. I'd like to play that for the court.
How long is it?
It's about 2 minutes long, but I don't think I need to play all of it. I just need to play the part where, hang on a second, sorry.
I wanna play the whole thing if we play anything. I don't know what video we saw.
I don't need the whole thing, Your Honor, I just need the part where Mr. Ortiz asked him to stop taping, and then Mr. Brown has overdubbed something on top of Mr. Ortiz's face.
Okay, we can go ahead and play the portion where.
So if I'm connected, what do I need to do right now besides just hit play?
So you have let's see, a PC. So I think then you can go to the Windows Miracast and then it'll cast onto the screen.
Windows Miracast. Sorry,
It
Judge.
should be in like your settings, I would imagine, right? That's what he would go to, because he's not on an Android or an Apple, so it would be through the Miracast. So there should be like a toolbox in your Windows.
Yeah, I kinda just thought I'd hit play and it would come up.
So you have to share the screen. So do you know how to do that from your computer?
I'm sorry, Your Honor, I do not. I do have it queued up. Is there another way we can go about this?
I suppose we can just play it from your computer and observe it from there.
And what would be the best way and the best place to put my laptop so that everybody in the court can see what I'm about to play?
I think if we maybe set it up here and kind of spin
On
it
your
this
bench?
way.
That high ledge?
Yeah, I think
Okay,
that's
may I
probably,
approach?
yes, sir.
No, I didn't play up already. Get it back
I can't see it. I'm gonna have to stand up.
up. I'll move out of the way in just a second.
This guy just said he's gonna grab you and throw you out.
I object to this video. This is the edited video by a third party that was put on my channel. This is not, this is, I want raw footage, not,
Throw you out. You have to.
I will find it,
this is a parody of Every Which Way But Loose. There's not, has nothing to do with nothing.
This guy just said he's gonna grab me and throw me out. He said throw me out. You need to shut up. You need to be quiet.
Play the whole thing if you're gonna play it.
I don't need to play anymore, Your Honor. I think that's sufficient.
You need to be.
I can
Yeah.
make my point.
I object to that. That's the edited by a third party. I don't see the relevance of that. I have the full video of everything that happened that day. If you're gonna play something, play the original full video, not a parody that was made with Every Which Way But Loose. That was by a third party that put that on my channel, and I have a few people that do that.
well, Mr. Brown, I think it is still a fair and accurate representation of the information, exchanged that day about recording or not recording and,
That said nothing about recording. That was.
So I will find that it is relevant and I will allow the play.
Could we play the whole thing that wasn't?
Yeah, this is my case. I don't have to
So,
accommodate Mrs. Brown.
Again, the rules for these kinds of hearings, are allowing that we pare everything down so that it is not cumulative or, confusing in any way. The information that, the plaintiff was attempting to get across in the video was that you were asked to stop recording.
That didn't show that.
And that you were still recording. So, if you have some counter information, you will certainly be able to present that. But I think that it is relevant. I think it, is from the 16th and is curtailed to the specific issues in this case, so it comports with the rules.
I just detour briefly to Mr. Rodriguez. Mr. Rodriguez, did you see the video that I just played?
Yes, I did.
Did you recognize it as video that was taken on September 16th?
Yes,
And do you know who took that video?
Mr. Mark Brown.
And do you know who asked Mr. Brown to depart the premises and stop taping?
Yeah, Mr. Victor Ortiz,
Were you also in that video?
on part of it, yes.
Yeah. And is this part of a continuing pattern of harassment of Mr. Brown to come in, tape the proceedings despite signs being on the front door, and you have explicitly asked him or one of your representatives to stop taping and depart?
Yes, sir.
Are you aware of any constitutional right for anybody to come into the post and record proceedings?
No,
Are you aware of any constitutional right to belong to the American Legion Post 7?
no.
Are there rules of decorum at the post posted?
Yes, those, the signs right there, yes.
In your opinion, is Mr. Brown in compliance with any or all or some of the rules of the standards of conduct of the American Legion Post 7?
No.
At some point in time afterwards, I believe we're gonna go to the 20th. Do you recall, September 20th?
Yes.
And what happened on September 20th?
Mr. Brown walked in and he was recording, and I asked him to stop recording. Several members asked him to stop recording. Several members went up to him and asked him not to record.
I object. Several members, let's hear say, I need the names, just several members.
Again, Mr. Brown, I will allow hearsay in this proceeding. The rules of evidence are relaxed. And I will accept the testimony that Mr. Rodriguez himself has indicated he asked you to stop. Go ahead, Mr. Brown.
What happens on Wednesdays at the post?
On Wednesdays, we have, an event called Queen of Hearts. What it consists of is, you buy tickets, $5, six tickets for $5 or $1 a ticket. You put your name, you have the option to put in your name or leave it blank. We put it in a little cage. Ticket sales start at 5 o'clock and end at 6:30. We have our kitchen open so members come in and eat, and at 6:30 we draw a ticket. If your name is drawn and you pick the Queen of Hearts, you automatically get the pot that's been accumulating throughout the weeks.
And how does the ticket sales for the Queen of Hearts, how does that benefit the post? I see a member gets a benefit by drawing a lucky card, the Queen of Hearts, but how does the post benefit?
Our portion of the sales go towards the building fund. That fund is used to provide repairs to the building or to purchase new equipment in our kitchen or any kind of maintenance that needs to be done in the building.
Do you have an idea what a typical jackpot is? Just an average.
It averages at the final drawing, it's usually $3,000 or above.
And of the $3,000 that goes to the member, how much goes to the post?
Well, the $3,000 is our, is what goes to the member, but the other $3,000 goes into the building fund. So the total is usually over, grand total over $6,000, but then it's split in half.
Is Mr. Brown's presence on Wednesday adversely affecting ticket sales?
Yes, it has.
In what way?
A lot of our members refuse to go in on Wednesdays because they're afraid that they're gonna be harassed. There's some members that go in and just participate in the sales of our food. They'll eat. Once they're done eating, they leave. And you gotta realize that our average member is 70 years old. I'm one of the youngest ones, and I'm 61. But most of our members are in their 70s and 80s.
What's the atmosphere at the post when Mr. Brown isn't present?
It's really bad.
When Mr. Brown is not present?
When he's not
When
present.
he's not present, what's the atmosphere, the environment at the post?
Everybody enjoys themselves. They talk among each other. They're happy to be there. And I've been told by several members that they feel more comfortable when Mr. Brown's not around.
And what's the post like when Mr. Brown shows up with his camera equipment?
Everybody tenses up. Like I said before, a lot of people leave. As soon as he walks in with his equipment, they know that he's gonna be recording, and they just get up and leave. And we lose a lot of members when that happens.
So he's adversely affecting the financial bottom line of the post by his presence?
That is correct.
Do you consider his presence there taping harassment?
Yes, I do.
And is it a pattern of behavior he continues to engage in despite being asked by you and an injunction against harassment to not come in and tape?
Yes.
Have you, as a result of your service to our country, incurred any physical problems, health ailments, or things like that you're comfortable discussing?
I can't.
Yes.
What's the
Can you-
objection, Mr. Brown?
What does this have to do with his physical? He's blaming physical things on me, is that what he's trying to say?
No.
His physical ailments?
I don't think that's what he's trying to say, sir. Harassment is, whether something is seriously alarming or annoying to someone, and their background, you take them as they are, so, information about Mr. Rodriguez, who is, a member and the representative here for the American Legion, would be relevant information. So, proceed.
Is the objection overruled, Your Honor?
Yes, the
Thank you, Your
objection is
Honor. Tell us briefly, as much as you're comfortable, about your health issues.
I suffer from PTSD. I'm 70% rated with PTSD. And when Mr. Brown shows up and records, it affects my PTSD. That's one of the reasons why I asked him not to record me, because I don't wanna be recorded. And he ignores me. On the 20th, I asked him not to record me, and he ignored me, and he told me, he goes, "Who's gonna stop me?" Mr. Dill asked him not to record me because I didn't want to be recorded, and he ignored Mr. Dill.
We'll get to that. As a result of Mr. Brown's failure to comply with your request that he not tape despite the presence of signs outside, did you have any ill health effects that you suffered as a result?
Yes, in August, he showed up, and I asked him not to record, and he insisted on recording.
We're talking about the 20th, though.
Right, but you asked me if it has affected my health, and this particular incident in August, my blood pressure went completely high, and I ended up being admitted at the VA hospital for 5 days because my blood pressure was out of control.
You consider his presence an annoyance,
Yes,
a disturbance,
yes,
and bad for the general welfare of the post?
yes, sir,
Is that why you went on the 21st and got an injunction against harassment?
yes, sir,
And was that injunction harassment against Mr. Brown granted?
yes, it was.
Do you consider his behavior when you ask him to stop, do you consider that aggressive?
Yes,
And do you consider it a nuisance?
yes,
And does it create issues for your health when he comes in and disregards your commands to stop taping?
yes, my blood pressure goes up.
But besides you and your health, you need to worry about the people that are members of the post, is that correct?
That is correct.
Does Mr. Brown seem to think that his behavior in taping takes precedence over everybody else's concerns and requirements for privacy?
Object. How does he know what I think? He's asking him what I think.
Based on his behavior, does it seem like he cares nothing about the membership of the Post?
No, he doesn't.
I'll allow the question based on his observations.
Your Honor, I don't know that I have really that much more to say
Okay.
on this. You know, you wanna try and keep this short. I wanna get a couple more witnesses in and move it along. I mean, I have more video, but I don't think I need it. I think that's just enough to show that his pattern of behavior is harassment.
Okay, then what I would like to do at this point is hear however many other witnesses you have, and then I'll give Mr. Brown an opportunity.
Well, I have
I'm
one
gonna
witness,
cross-
maybe
I'm
two.
gonna cross him,
Hold on.
right?
Yes, Mr. Gonzalez.
I have one witness, perhaps two, that are relevant to, the incident on the 20th, and then I think we could probably rest.
Okay, so, Mr. Brown, what we're going to do is, bring in the other witnesses, but I'm not going to excuse, Mr. Rodriguez.
I get across him, right?
I'm going to give you a chance after we hear from the other witnesses. So I'm not going to excuse Mr. Rodriguez. You'll be able to, recall him and question him, okay? But in an effort at efficiency, I'd like to hear from all of the plaintiff's witnesses.
But I thought I was gonna be able to cross each witness.
You are
I
going?
objected, yeah.
So, Mr. Brown, I will give you that opportunity, but I want to hear all of their directs first, and then I will get you the opportunity.
I object because I wanted to hear it. While it's fresh in my mind, I'd like to cross him now.
Well,
You know, I don't know why we have to go through all that and then I get it, then I'm gonna have to cross them all, bring them all back, so that's gonna take more time.
I disagree. So I'm going to allow the other witnesses to come and take the stand. It sounds like there's only one or two others. It should not take very much time, and then I will allow you to, present what you have to present and then cross-examine.
I'll be able to cross them before you make the decision whether we continue, before I get it put on my case, right? I mean, cause,
Well, I'd like to hear from your side and then allow you to cross-examine. Okay? All right, so Ms. Rodriguez, you can go ahead and have a seat. Given that you are the representative, you are not subject to the rule and you can sit next to Mr. Moss. Thank you, sir.
Mr. Dill?
Hello, sir. Before you take a seat, I'm gonna place you under oath, so raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Please be seated.
Good morning, could you please state your name?
Russell Dill, spelled D as in Delta, I-L-L-O-W.
And are you a member of American Legion Post 7?
Yes.
Do you hold a position in American Legion Post 7?
For the past 7 months, I've been the judge advocate.
And as a member of the American Legion, you serve actively in service of our country, correct?
Yes.
And what branch of the service?
Air Force,
How many years?
4.
And did you have any other occupations before you joined the American Legion Post 7?
Did a lot of things.
Well, why don't you just give us a brief outline of the things that you've done to earn a living?
Okay, well, I'm a retired lawyer. I practiced law for 15 years, and then I was on the bench for 15.
Are you an active member of the bar right now?
No, I let my license go in 2011.
So you're a retired judge?
Yeah.
I would like to direct your attention to the events that occurred at American Legion Post 7 on the 20th of September.
Okay.
Do you recall, can I back up for a moment, Ron?
Yes.
At some point in time, were you aware that signs saying no video, no audio recording is allowed without the express consent?
Yes, as you enter the building, they're on the door.
Both entrances?
I saw one as the main door. I don't go into the hall unless it's through the bar.
Were these signs present and posted on the door prior to September 20th?
Yes,
And do you recall, an incident on September 20th involving Mark Brown?
yes, I do.
Can you tell me briefly what happened?
On Wednesday night at the Post, we have this game called the Queen of Hearts, and everybody goes down to play the game. And I went down to play, and when I got there, I was advised by a number of people that Mr. Brown was videoing, and they were upset. And they asked, because I was the judge advocate, would I do something?
What did you do?
I went to Mr. Brown and I asked him to stop videoing.
And what was his response?
He said, no, he has the First Amendment right to video, and he was going to video. And I said, I'd like you to quit, and if you, and then he went, well, who's going to make me?
So he was argumentative,
Yeah,
hostile?
yeah,
Did you
somewhat.
say he was threatening?
Yeah, somewhat, yeah.
Did you stop taping?
No, he kept going, he kept
Despite
taping.
your request that he stop taping, he continued to tape.
Yes, he did.
And in so doing, he threatened you or reacted to you in
Yeah,
a
it
threatening,
was,
hostile manner?
You know what, it's, being a guy and a veteran, before you go into any kind of combat or something, you get an adrenaline rush. And he said, who's gonna make me? I got a rush.
Is that good or bad?
Well, depends, but I mean, because what I'm saying is that I took it, my body took it as a threat.
So did you get elevated blood pressure or any other
I don't
side
know.
effects?
I walked away.
Do you consider Mr. Brown's presence at the Post when he's taping annoying,
Definitely.
harassing?
Somewhat harassing, but mostly he interferes with the meaning of the club. I mean, that club is for camaraderie and pleasantry and to meet people, have a good time. And with Mr. Brown's there, there's so much tension. People are upset and they're leaving. It's annoying. I don't know if that's hostile, but it's definitely not within the purpose of the Post.
Are you aware that Mr. Brown has taped things at the Post after being asked not to and then turned around and posted them on YouTube?
Yes.
And do you consider this harassment?
Well, I think it's an invasion of privacy. I don't, especially after he was told not to do it and he puts it out in the public like that.
I don't have any further questions for this witness, Your Honor.
Okay, do you wish to call another witness?
I do, Your Honor.
Okay, so,
He can,
Mr. Dill, we're gonna ask that you remain, but step outside again and then maybe recall, okay? And then we're gonna bring your next witness.
I object again, I wanna cross-examine him right now.
I am going to hear all of the presentation from the plaintiff, and then I will allow cross-examination, okay? All right. Hello. Before you take a seat, I'm gonna place you under oath. Do you swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth? I do. Okay, you may be seated. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Could you state your full name for the record, please?
My full name is Adela Gonzalez.
And are you associated with American Legion Post 7?
I am the auxiliary member.
And how long have you been a member of it's the Ladies Auxiliary?
2 years.
And just to cut to the chase, I'm gonna go to the night of September 20th. Do you remember September 20th?
I do not.
Weren't you present at the Post on
I
September?
probably was, but I do, September 20th?
That was the, a Queen of Hearts Wednesday. Do you recall
Yes.
being present?
Yes, I
On
was.
September 20th for the Queen of Hearts?
Yes, I was.
Do you recall Mr. Brown being present?
Yes, I do.
And do you recall Mr. Brown coming in? Well, before I ask you that question, are you aware that before September 16th and September 20th, signs were posted on the door saying no video, no audio without express consent?
Yes,
Do you know why?
because we had certain people, like Mr. Brown, coming in recording and was asked not to record.
Did you ever give Mr. Brown permission to record you?
No, I did not.
Do you
I
consider
specifically
his-
asked him not to record.
Do you consider
Record us.
his continuing to record you despite your request to not record you
He did,
harassing,
yes.
threatening?
He just said that you had his right, and I said, I have mine.
Do you consider that response and behavior on his part annoying?
Yes, very, very upsetting, and very, like, I was dismissed. He didn't care what I had to say as long as he got to do what he wanted to do.
And did something happen on the 20th?
On the 20th, I know I tried to stop him from recording by putting a tissue over his camera saying I did not want to be recorded.
And do you remember his response?
His-
I object. This,
What's your?
this ain't the 20th, she's on her whole nother day. She's on the 11th when they attacked me, when she attacked me.
But I
She's not
also
talking
did-
about the 20th. So we have to talk about just the 16th and the 20th, because
I agree that we're talking about the 16th and 20th, and that is what Mr.
yeah,
Lamasano has
this is
asked.
11th in October, she's not
Well-
talking about the 20th.
I also did it on the 20th when you were
Mr.
there.
Brown,
Yes. Yeah,
you'll
that-
have an opportunity to present your own evidence. This is the evidence that
Yeah.
the plaintiff is presenting, and it is her belief that this is what occurred on the 20th. So I will allow the testimony and find that it is relevant as to, the information in the original petition. If you have some evidence contrary to that, you'll be more than welcome to present it at the point in time that you can present a defense. But I'm not going to bar her from presenting her recollections of the 20th. Okay, you may proceed. Objection.
Thank you, Judge. Do you know what happened after you put a tissue over his lens?
He grabbed it and threw it down, and I grabbed it up and I put it back on it. And then he just kind of stood up and moved, and so I went and sat down. But he refused to not record,
Did you have a physical altercation with him?
not on that day, no.
Did you have a physical altercation with him at a later time?
He's just very, he stands up and you kind of back away, so I don't know if it's an altercation, but it's kind of scary, you know, when you're sitting there and you're trying to protest being filmed, and then he stands up, so I don't.
Would you call his behavior threatening?
Threatening,
Would
very.
you call it
I
harassment?
object again, Your Honor, we're talking about a different day. This is nothing about the 20th.
That is not her recollection. Her recollection is this was the 20th. So I'm going to allow her to testify about what she recalls from the 20th. Again, if you have some contrary evidence, you'll have an opportunity to present that.
We're talking about the 20th of September, correct?
Yes, and he was sitting on a stool on the 20th, and we, as a matter of fact, told him that that stool was broken, and he insisted on sitting it. And I said, you're gonna fall down, cause it was a stool that had to be repaired, and we had moved it out of the side, and he insisted on sitting on it.
So do you consider his behavior annoying,
Abrasive, very abrasive.
about harassing?
I would say it was harassing. I think it was very like bully. He's bigger and he's, you know, I got intimidated.
Would you say that's a pretty constant behavior pattern of his,
Oh,
threatening,
yes.
bullying?
Always.
He always wants to get his way.
It's always his way or no way.
I see. Can you tell me what the post,
I'm sorry?
can you tell me what the post is like, on
Very-
any night when Mr. Brown is not present?
Oh, it's very family oriented. We, get together, we have, communicate with each other. We talk about things for the community, how we can help, and stuff like that. So it's very family oriented.
That's a night or an evening or a day when Mr. Brown's not present. What's it like when Mr. Brown is present?
It gets very, electrifying, very tense. Everyone's worried because you don't know how he's gonna react and how we ask him not to do things that he doesn't care. He just wants to do what he wants to do, and even when people ask him very nicely to please do not record us, please do not, don't do that, he doesn't care. He says, I'm here, I'm gonna do what I wanna do.
consider that contributing to the good order of the post?
Yeah.
You do consider his
No,
behavior?
his behavior is not a good order to the post.
Do you consider his behavior to be a good reflection of the post?
No, his behavior is very contrary. He's very abrasive.
Do you have any physical or health effects that result when Mr. Brown comes to the post?
I get very nervous. It gets very tense and very nervous when he shows up because you don't know what's gonna happen. And he creates an environment that is not healthy.
I don't have any further questions for this witness, Your Honor.
And do you have any further witnesses that you would like?
I have one, Your Honor.
Okay.
She'll be brief, at least
Okay.
as quick as this
So,
witness.
Ms. Gonzalez, I will ask that you remain here. We may be recalling you, for cross-examination, but I'm taking all of the direct testimony first.
Okay,
Okay?
thank you.
And I object again.
I understand. Hello, hi, how are you? Before you sit down, I'm gonna place you under oath, so will you, testify to only the truth and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay, have a seat, please.
Thank you for agreeing to testify today. Can you tell us your full name, your correct name, first and last?
My name is Maria Gutierrez.
Okay, Maria, if you could speak up as much as possible and scooch as close as you can to that microphone, please.
My name is Maria Gutierrez.
Okay, thank you.
Are you a member of American Legion Post 7?
Yes,
And how long have you been a member of American Legion Post 7?
but 3 years.
Are you aware that as you walk into the post, there's signs posted on the front door that say no audio or video recording?
Yes, sir.
Do you know why those signs are there?
Because they to protect the people inside.
Well, specifically, are they there because individuals have come in and taped proceedings inside the post without permission?
Yes,
Do you know if one of those individuals who comes into the post and tapes proceedings without permission is present in this courtroom? And do you know how many times approximately he's come into the post and taped proceedings after the signs are posted?
when everybody is busy, he just walks in and we sit down there and he just start filming the people and they said, we not allowed, don't do that. And so he keep on doing that. Okay? And so the first time he come in there, he started screaming and hollering and saying all kinds of stuff. They called the police. I was so scared because I thought he got a gun or stuff like that. So when I left, my blood pressure, I never have my blood pressure till this guy comes in. I ended up in Northwest Hospital for 3 days because my blood pressure can get down.
Can you, I'm sorry for your health issues. What's the post like, American Legion Post 7, when Mr. Brown's not present?
It's friendly, everybody, we like each other, and everybody associate with everybody. And I love the post.
And you have a good time at the post when Mr. Brown's not around?
Everybody is quiet, everybody is talking to each other, and we have whatever, we had dinner, so we have whatever. Not till this man walks in and start causing all kinds of emotions.
And then when he shows up, what happens?
Everybody get upset, including myself. The last 3 times, I just see this person and I start shaking and joking, and my blood pressure goes up. And please, I want you to do something before anything happen, because we afraid that he'll do something. Because we don't know how crazy he is. I come from family service. My son, 30 years in the force, My husband was 43 years in the Marine, and when he comes in, oh man, every time, like right now, so please do something before anything happens.
Can I just ask you if you consider Mr. Brown's presence at the American Legion Post 7 harassing?
We don't want him at all.
But do you consider his behavior harassing behavior?
Yes,
Do you consider him an annoyance?
yes,
Do you consider him a danger to the post?
yes,
Do you consider him a danger to your health?
yes.
Do you refrain or do you stop coming to the post on Wednesday nights now because you think
Yes,
Mark
I
Brown might be
will.
present?
Because when I go to the Marine Court, if he comes in there, we have camera everywhere. He will not walk in.
But specifically as to American Legion Post 7, you don't go to American Legion Post 7 on Wednesday nights anymore because of Mr. Brown, is that
No.
correct?
I will stop.
I don't have any further questions for this witness, Your Honor. And I don't have any further witnesses to call. I believe that would be cumulative.
Okay. I guess I have one question. Is it the recording itself that you're finding harassing, or you had mentioned some yelling? Can you give me some
Well,
details?
it was my health, it just, whatever went on.
Okay. So is it the recording that is causing your health to, your blood pressure
He's
to
recording,
deteriorate?
we don't know what he has in there, he has a gun, he has what? What did he want?
Okay. And you had mentioned yelling. What is the yelling? Can you give me an example of what he would yell?
Is the yelling relating to people asking him to stop and him telling them
Yes.
that he's not going to stop, he's gonna do what he wants to do? Does he ask people, what are you gonna do about me taping?
Yes,
Okay.
You consider this rude behavior? Offensive? Harassing?
yes.
Thank you.
Okay.
I have no further questions, Your Honor.
Okay. Ma'am, I will allow you to get down from the witness stand, but I do
Yes.
need you to remain here,
Yes.
because you may be recalled for some additional questions, okay?
Yes,
Thank you. All right, and Mr. Brown, would you have any witnesses you would like to put on the stand, or would you like to take the stand yourself?
I would like to cross-examine them first before I went on, because I thought this, basically, the state's gonna put on their case and then I get
This
it.
isn't the state, this is a civil matter. It
Well,
is
so,
the American Legion versus you in a civil, petition for.
So, yes, I'm
Injunction Against
gonna-
Workplace Harrassment.
I wanna testify after I cross-examine them, but I can bring on, you want me to bring on my witness before I, cross-examine them, is that what you're saying?
Yes, I would like to
And then
hear
can I-
both sides, and then I'll allow some cross-examination.
All right, so, yes, I'll bring on, Dave Croto.
Dave Croder?
Dave Croto.
Okay, you can go get Dave and ask him to come and take the witness stand. Hello, sir, come on up. And before you take a seat, I'm gonna place you under oath. Do you swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay, please have a seat.
No Bible? Sorry.
No.
It's been a long time since I've been in court.
That's okay.
All right. Are you ready, Dave? Or can you state your name, please?
David Henry Croto.
And, are you a member of American Legion Post 7?
Yes, I am.
And you was in the service?
I was.
And how long was you in service for?
I served in the Army from June of '69 to January '72.
All right, and what branch was you in service?
I was in the Army.
Army. Okay, so, and how long have you been a member of American Legion Post 7?
8 years.
Okay, and in them 8 years, did you come to a lot of the meetings of the American Legion?
Yes,
And you go to the Queen of Hearts on Wednesday night a lot?
yes, I do.
And you did that for the whole 8 years?
I probably started doing the Queen of Hearts maybe 5 years ago after I was elected to the executive board.
I see. And did you run for commander?
I did run for commander.
And who did you run against?
Objection, Your Honor, I'm not sure how this is relevant to the proceedings of
so-
September 16th or
Well-
September 20th.
Mr. Brown,
He ran
hold on,
against. Okay,
hold
go.
on. I'm happy to allow a short amount of background, which I think you've elicited that, Mr. Proto, his service, his membership, but we need to now
But
get
the
to.
background of the American Legion, though. This is part of the background of what this is all about.
This is about September
This
16th
is
and September
about
20th, Your Honor.
Yeah,
instances of
but he-
harassment.
But he talked about his background and about all his commander's duties, and he ran for commander, so he knows a bit about the duties of the commander also. So I was just getting that out. That's a very simple thing. It takes more to argue this. We would have been past it already. Did he ran for commander?
I'll allow you to get out the information on the position of commander, but beyond that, we need to then stick to the 16th and the 20th, okay?
Okay. So you ran commander against Abe?
Before I ran for man, I was elected to the executive committee that made the decisions that the post operates under. So I was a member of the executive board for 2 terms, and then I was elected president. I was elected to appointed junior vice commander to take over the position that I was qualified. I ran for originally as junior vice commander. I failed that year to win that position, but I remained as a member of the executive board. I then ran for commander that following years, and I was defeated.
And after you was defeated,
No,
was you suspended right after you was defeated?
no.
Or soon after?
Soon after the,
So, Mr. Brown, I
yes.
don't see how this is relevant. You said you were eliciting information about the duties of the commander.
Yeah, and his
the junior
position.
vice commander is what I ran for originally, and that was a position I felt qualified for. After the one who beat me at election, I was appointed by the chapter
I
to
don't
be
know how
the
this
junior
is,
vice
objection, Your Honor,
commander.
I
So
don't know
I
how this
was
is
junior
relevant
vice
to
Hold on,
September
Mr.
16th and the 20th.
So, I said I would allow questions about the duties of the commander because that seems to be relevant to the notice and the posting of signs and the, information that is pertinent to the 16th and 20th. But whether someone ran and lost and how that transpired well before the 16th and 20th, I don't find that to be relevant.
Yeah,
So.
but I ain't got to that part yet, but-
Sustain the objection. So
All
then
right,
get to
all right,
the
all
point
right.
and ask the question about the duties themselves.
Okay, let's just get to the 20th real quick here. Okay, so on the 20th of September, you was at the American Legion of the Queen of Hearts, correct? Well, let's start here. The 16th, let's go to the 16th first. The 16th of September was the meeting of the American Legion monthly meeting, correct?
That was supposedly the end of my suspension that they had
Yes.
accused me of in the past.
Yes, the 16th.
Yes, the 16th
Yeah.
was the end of it, so yes, I was.
Yes. So on the 16th was the end of your suspension. While you were suspended, you was able to still come to the meetings, correct?
That's correct.
But you wasn't able to come to Queen of Hearts.
Correct.
So until the 16th, you missed Queen of Hearts for a year.
Correct.
And I was suspended with you for a whole year.
Yes, we were both suspended.
And according to the bylaws, did you get a trial for that suspension?
I did not.
Objection, Your Honor.
This
Can we
again
just
is
stay with it?
irrelevant. So I'm finding that this line of questioning is irrelevant to the issues alleged in the petition. So we need to now, at this point, stick with the 16th and the 20th of September.
So the 16th was the first day that we was able to come back and stay after the meeting. We're allowed to go to the meetings, correct?
Correct.
The whole time. But after the meeting's over, we'd have to leave because we can't be part of any drinking at the bar or anything, right? We couldn't be part of that, correct? Until the 16th.
Until the 16th, we could do
Yes.
no activities. We could go to meetings when they had them. So often they canceled meetings. So we
Yes.
weren't allowed to bring my case up for almost a year because it was postponed because they didn't have a quorum or they didn't show up.
Yeah.
Your Honor, is this relevant to the 16th and the 20th?
I'm
gonna
not
object.
finding that this is, we need to get to the
So, yes.
incidences on the 16th and the 20th.
So for a whole year, so.
Okay, but this is not the 16th and the 20th, this is
Yes.
the year prior to that.
So on the
It's
16th, I was allowed, me and you was both allowed to be there on the 16th out in the bar area, not just the meeting, correct?
That's correct. That's correct.
Okay, and on the 16th, at that meeting, did I ever interrupt the meeting?
No. Well, I mean, can I qualify that?
Yeah, yes.
Mark arrived soon after I was there and sat down and did not ask, say, or do anything. And that's when what I witnessed as an altercation go.
Yeah, and what was the altercation? Was them?
Several people were approaching Mark that he can't film here when he set up his tripod and his camera. And several of them tried to take it from him before he finally was forced out of the hall.
Okay, all right, so on the 16th, are you familiar with the bylaws of the American Legion Post 7?
Yes, I say that qualified because it's been really hard to
Objection,
get
Your Honor.
a qualifying answer
Hold on,
to
Mr.
my
Croto.
questions
Mr.
regarding
Croto.
the.
Mr. Croto, hold on, we have an objection.
Okay.
Yes.
Relevance to September 16th and relevance to September 20th. We're not here to litigate the bylaws. We're here to litigate Mr. Brown's behavior on the 16th and the 20th.
So, Mr. Brown, I don't see that the bylaws of the American Legion.
It's about recording. Everything's in the bylaws. They're gonna go by the bylaws. So,
So if there is a bylaw specifically about recording, then ask about that.
yeah, is there any bylaws against is about recording in the,
Not at
American Legion?
all. No, it's all about honoring the Constitution.
Yes, so under the bylaws, you're allowed to record.
Correct.
So, it's
Objection,
very
Your Honor.
important, Your
Calls for a
Honor.
legal conclusion.
It ain't legal conclusion. By the bylaws,
There's nothing in the bylaws that says
About-
you can't
Renew my
record.
objection, Your Honor.
Okay. I'll allow the information that it's not in the bylaws, anything about recording. I've allowed the information about the sign posting as well, not allowing recording, okay? But don't need to go into any more information about the bylaws. We've established what may or may not be relevant, to the 13th and, for the 16th and the 20th.
okay, so on the 16th, it was the meeting and it's the first meeting in quite a while. How many meetings did they have last year? Was it this?
Objection, Your Honor. Relevance?
Again, we are just talking about the 16th and the 20th. The information presented at this hearing must be curtailed to those 2 dates.
Okay,
So ask him questions about what happened at the meeting at the 16th and what happened at the Queen of Hearts on the 20th.
So, on the 16th, you was with me the whole time, did you ever see me be disorderly? Did you ever see me raise my voice on the 16th at all?
No.
Did you ever see me do something violent?
No.
I just came in and sat down, correct?
Correct.
I didn't I didn't yell at nobody, I didn't cause any disturbance, did I?
I'm remembering you might have made a motion or two.
A motion,
As
yes.
part of the procedures of the American Legion is to have the participation of the Legionnaires at the general membership meeting. and you were not disrespectful, loud, or objecting to anything, but following the bylaws.
So when I made a motion, was it seconded?
Yes,
Was it discussed?
no.
So is it in the bylaws, once you make a motion?
Your Honor,
Then
once
you,
again, objection to the relevance of the injunction against harassment.
The bylaws themselves and how the meeting is conducted is irrelevant. Information about any possible harassing or information about not harassing is what is being alleged here. So that's what we need to keep to, whether the structure of the meetings and the bylaws is irrelevant.
So I was following the bylaws. I wasn't being disorderly at all. When I made the motion, I wasn't loud, was I?
No, not at all.
No louder than anyone else in there. I was.
Asked and answered, Your Honor.
And I wasn't disruptive at all at the whole 16th, right?
So
meeting
these
was-
are asked and answered questions, so can you move on?
So, on the 20th, you was with me on the 20th. The following week was the first time that we could go to the Queen of Hearts, correct?
That's correct.
Following the 20th. That was a Wednesday.
Correct.
So, on that Wednesday, did you see me there?
I did.
Did you see me yell at all? Did you ever see me yell the whole time?
Not once.
And
Oh,
you-
well, yes, you did. You're hurting me. I heard you yell that you're hurting me when they were in a closed area where I couldn't see you.
Okay, I'm talking about the 20th, the following, not when all that happened. That was on the 11th.
Oh, on the Queen of Hearts.
Yeah, the other witness got this messed up too. So on the Queen of Hearts, on the 20th is the following, was just, the following from the Saturday, the following Wednesday was the Queen of Hearts. I'm talking about that day.
Okay.
So did you hear me yell at all?
No.
On that day at all?
No.
I didn't yell, I'm hurting, because that's when you're talking about when I was attacked on the other day. But on that day, the 20th, I never yelled, I'm hurting me, did I? On the 20th, yeah. So on that day, I didn't yell at all on the 20th at all, did I?
No.
And did I do anything threatening or?
No, as a matter of fact, I remember now, because we weren't allowed to go into the lounge and we left out that front door, the double door to the private entrance. And, no, you weren't disruptive, you were very respectful, and, you know, your demeanor is always like that, or pretty much. I've never seen you raged.
Yeah, and you ever heard me yell anything?
No.
To anyone, or even just yell, just to yell?
No.
So, on that Wednesday, what else do you remember? What else do you remember about me that Wednesday? Did I do nothing, anything that even came close to harassing? Right?
I didn't see anything that you would constitute harassment, given the harassment that I've received from the Post. There's nothing even compared to what I've been receiving.
Okay. So, was you was harassed at the Post also?
Objection.
Okay, so, Mr. Brown, we're not here for any petition made by Mr. Croto as to harassment. This is the petition, from the American Legion against you. So, any harassing that Mr. Croto has perceived is irrelevant to this proceeding. If Mr. Croto wants to go and attempt to get his own petition, he is more than free to do that, but any harassment he's perceived is irrelevant here in this proceeding.
Did you consider yourself on that Wednesday that you harassed anybody ever?
No, as a matter of fact, after the experiences I've had in the last year, through
Objection.
the suspension, the perception I had is I had to be very careful not to harass or be
So-
at anyone's. I'm being scrutinized.
Mr. Croto and
Yes.
Mr. Brown, again, Mr. Croto's behavior is not what this hearing is about.
Yes.
It is about your behavior and whether you were doing any harassing behavior on the 16th and the 20th. So Mr. Croto's behavior is irrelevant. His
So-
observations of you would
So the observation you had, when I walked in and I sat down, correct?
Yes.
And did I approach anybody?
No,
I just sat at the table,
correct.
correct? So, was I approached by people sitting at the table?
Yes,
Yeah, but I didn't approach them,
Correct.
and I wasn't yelling,
correct.
and you never saw me ever do anything harassing that day on the
No, I
20th.
did not see any of your behavior that was harassing.
Okay. Let's see here. All right, so, and on the 16th, so the 2 dates in question, I mean, we could ask about every date, but you never ever saw me do anything harassing in there 16th or 20th or any other day even?
No, only to be present and supportive when I have gone to the meeting wanting to make motions and use the process that we have at the American Legion. It's been very frustrating not to have
Objection, Your Honor.
a meeting
Okay.
in which
Well,
you could.
Mr. Croto, we have an objection. Relevance. Is it relevant?
Objection relevance outside the scope, Your Honor, we're talking, I don't know why you have to keep admonishing them. They concentrate on the 16th and the 20th of September, but that's kind of how their behavior is, Your Honor. So I object.
Mr. Croto, again, we're not talking about your perception of harassment to you.
Yes,
That would be an entirely separate proceeding. It is about Mr. Brown's hate behavior toward members at the Legion.
correct, and very good, I'm very much glad to share my perspective because it hasn't been heard. We haven't had an opportunity, and I'm glad to have a proceeding in which the truth can be finally exposed.
So, Mr. Croto, the only information that is pertinent here in this hearing is Mr. Brown's behavior at the American Legion on the 16th and the 20th. Your behavior is irrelevant because this is not an injunction against you. And your perception of your treatment at the American Legion is not relevant because it is an issue of Mr. Brown and the American Legion, not you and the American Legion. Okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr.
So-
Brown, any additional questions?
Yes, recording, I was recording to protect you, correct?
Correct, absolutely.
Because of what they did to you in the past, is why we was recording.
Correct.
So if there was any harassment, I'd be able to record them harassing you, and that was the reason why I was there to record you, correct?
That's been the issue for over a year.
Yes,
Because of the harassment and not recording it when it first started is an issue.
yes. Because,
So yes, I was aware that you were recording, and I'm glad that you were covering me, because I have instances in the past in these situations where I have not been able to defend myself with the truth.
Once again, Your Honor, renew my objection of relevance.
So again,
that's why I'm recording. This is very important, ma'am. It's why I was there recording is because of this. So the whole reason why I'm recording, they're saying recording's harassment, but I'm recording the harassers.
Yes.
That's what the point I'm trying to get. I was recording for that reason. It was my job to record because I was there to help him. So I'm trying to get that point across, and that's very
If Mr. Brown
relevant.
wishes to testify, he should take the stand. He's testifying
I'm going to
from
testify.
from counsel's table. I think he needs to curtail his testimony.
So
or
I'm
Your
trying to
Honor,
get
move to
his-
strike.
okay.
So,
I,
so just so you know that he asked me to be there to record.
okay, so Mr. Brown.
That's what I'm trying to get at.
I don't want you to be testifying from the position you're in now, because
Okay,
I can't
yes.
actually account for it.
So I'm gonna ask him to do it, so just let me finish real quick, so, yes, I'm gonna ask him.
I got the information, okay? okay?
Yeah.
I'll allow that question in that context, so I'll overrule that objection, but
So-
I don't need any further information
Yeah,
about it.
so, but basically, on the 16th,
Correct, I don't need any further information
Yeah.
about the reason you were there to record. I understand it.
yeah, on the 16th and the 20th, you asked me to come and record. So,
Correct.
yes, so I just wanna get that out there, is that the
Okay.
reason, so,
I
just so you understand, the reason I was there is to record.
Okay, Mr. Brown,
Yes,
this is not the position to testify.
But he asked
You're
me,
gonna get an opportunity to take the stand.
but he asked me to be there, you asked me to be there to record.
Okay, I got that.
So, yes, that's
Okay.
mainly what I'm trying to get at, is he
Okay.
asked me, now, I'll testify, but like I said, I wanna testify after I cross-examine everybody, I would like to testify
Okay,
last.
Are you done with questions with
I just have a couple more. So, and we went over, there's no bylaws against recording in there.
That's asked and answered, so
And,
we've already gone through
so-
what's in the bylaws. so.
And let me see here, any other questions here? All right, and, so that's just basically it, so, so you never, ever, on them 2 days, ever saw me harass anybody?
already been asked and
And you saw me
answered.
sit there,
Okay,
right?
this has
So,
been
all right.
asked and answered, so
All right.
we've gone through what Mr. Proto observed.
And then one other question here, and you was there the whole time on the 16th I was there, and the whole time on the 20th I was there, correct?
That's correct.
All right, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Proto. I'm gonna ask that you remain as well, as you may be recalled for additional questions, okay?
Very good.
Thank you. Okay, and Mr. Brown, would you like to take the stand?
I would like to after I cross-examine everybody. I wanna do that last, I don't wanna focus on anything that's missed, I wanna get up there and do it after, I cross-examine everybody. Cause there's a lot of things that I don't know yet, so I really need to, I need to wait till I cross-examine them before I do. I'd like to be very last one.
Okay, and.
Your Honor, it's your courtroom, I think you can decide how this process should be conducted and not Mr. Brown.
So, Mr. Brown, what you're saying is that there's information that you need before you could effectively.
Yeah, I wanna,
record testimony?
yes, I wanna hear everything, I wanna be able to, cause they just testified I was harassing you, they never said nothing else, I wanna be able to hear, I wanna cross-examine each one of them before I testify, just so I know what they're thinking, so right now, we just got that they think me sitting down is harassing, it's about recording, that recording is harassing.
Okay, so, Mr. Brown, I will bring in the witnesses for cross-examination and allow you to cross them before you take the stand. However, I want to be very clear that this is just about these 2 dates, the 16th and the 20th, and you can ask them about their observations on that day of you, because that is what is relevant here,
Yes,
okay?
So-
So hold on, we're not talking about what happened in the year prior, we're not talking about what's in the bylaws. We are simply curtailing this to the observations that they had of you on the 16th and the 20th. Okay?
Correct. And then the whole thing was recorded, so I'm gonna have to be playing a lot of videos to before I'll do it when I get on the stand, because the whole thing was recorded. So all the stuff she was saying didn't happen on that date, so it's easily to prove by the recordings.
Okay.
And that's one of the things.
You can do that when you testify. Okay?
All right.
Okay. So, which witness would you like to ask follow-up questions of, Mr. Brown?
All of his witnesses I went across examine.
Okay, so why don't we go ahead and recall, Mr. Rodriguez first?
That's fine, Your Honor, I don't have a problem with that. What I do need to do is advise the court that I have afternoon obligations at United States District Court, and if this goes beyond 12, we're gonna have to schedule this for another time.
Okay.
This is gonna go beyond 12.
I was
Well,
hoping we
Mr.
could
Brown,
take
I
this before noon.
can't imagine that it would, because we're curtailing this to just those 2 dates and their observations. So it's going to become cumulative very quickly. I can't imagine that there's more than a few questions.
There's hours of videos, you know.
I don't need
So
to see hours.
the videos proves that that what they did, what they're saying didn't happen. There was no harassment. So if we don't watch the video, then we really can't see that they had the wrong dates, everything. All the testimony that they're given here is easily just by watching the video, because, you know,
So why do you need to recall
on the 20th,
them?
was that?
Why do you need to recall them? If you wanna just.
Because everything that they said, I want to be able to dispute. They got up there and said,
Well, you
so,
don't get to dispute it with them.
well, I get to cross-examine them. I need to ask them about it. So,
You can ask them their observations.
yes.
If they have something.
So again, you're trying to
different
cut me off
say.
and trying to keep me from getting a fair trial here.
I'm not
I want to be able
trying
to
to do that.
cross-examine each one of these, and I don't want to be rushed, you know? I
Well-
don't want to be rushed. So,
Mr. Brown,
yes.
I will allow you to ask them about their observations. If they have something significantly different to say, I'll allow them to testify to it. But at this point, we're running into some cumulative information.
I ain't even cross-examined nobody yet.
I'm gonna let you do it
I
right
know.
now.
But how you're saying I'm being punitive until I do it? I mean, I need to cross-examine each one of these
I'm telling
witnesses.
you that hours and hours more is not, that's gonna be.
I'm not setting the time.
If you're
I'm
gonna
gonna-
ask all the same questions that Mr. Lamasamo had.
I'm not gonna ask the same questions, I'm
Okay.
sure. But anyway, I wanna be able to cross-examine each witness, and I don't wanna be rushed, is all I'm saying. So it'd be better to
I
get
will
on.
allow you to cross-examine the witnesses. Okay. Go ahead and have a seat, Mr. Evans. And please, know that you are still under oath.
Okay.
All right, Mr. Brown.
All right, so on the 16th, tell me everything that I did that was disorderly on the 16th.
What?
On the 16th of September, you said I was disorderly. Besides recording, tell me everything I did that was disorderly besides recording. I want to go over that first. Everything that was harassing.
First off, I asked you not to record, and you still
Okay,
recorded.
besides recording, let's take recording out of the equation. What did I do to harass you besides recording?
So, Mr. Brown, the allegations that are the basis of this petition is the recording.
Yes.
So, that's.
And you know that was my job to record. That was why I was there. So besides
So the
recording,
behavior itself that is alleged to have been harassing is the recording.
so that's all. So let me answer that question. Is that all the harassing behavior? It was just recording, right?
Well, on the 16th, it is the harassing behavior of continuing
Let's let
to
the-
record after being told.
Can we let the
to
witness
not.
answer that? I want him to answer.
Well, yes, but I'm telling you that that is relevant, the recording. And any
Okay,
other
but-
behavior is not, because that's not what's alleged on the 16th.
Okay, so tell me exactly how recording is harassing?
Because you were asked not to record, not only by me, but by the members, that they didn't want to be recorded, and you still wanted to record, and you still did it anyways.
At the meeting? Are you talking at the meeting?
Yes.
On the
And
16th,
then you posted the recording, you
Okay.
live streamed it.
answer the question. Okay,
I'm answering this question.
Yes, he's answering your question,
So-
Mr. Brown.
on the 16th, this was at the meeting, right? Is there anything in the bylaws about recording?
No, but the signs are posted.
No. Yes.
The signs are posted.
Okay, but, at that meeting on the 16th, was there a motion made to not record in there by the members?
You don't have to make a motion.
Yes.
The signs are there.
Was there ever, American Legion's a member-run organization, right?
It's run not by the members, we have
Again,
rules.
this is now irrelevant. The structure and the bylaws and how the American Legion is operated is
Well-
not relevant here.
Yes, so one, as a commander, you have one vote, right?
Okay, Mr. Brown, again, not relevant.
Was that sign put up by, a vote with the members?
It has nothing to do with it.
So
Who put the sign up?
that was already testified to, who created and put the signs up.
Yes. And why was the signs put up in the first place? Prior there was no signs, right?
No, because people don't wanna be recorded, and that's it. That's
So-
why it was put up.
Is that sign a law? I mean, just because you put a sign up, you have to go by the bylaws when you're in there, right?
Objection, Your Honor.
So, again, the structure of the American Legion is not the purpose of this hearing.
Yes, but the sign has to be done by the members, it's structured by the members. It can't be by one man, it can't be by one person. It has to be done through the members.
Well, he's testified
That's-
that it was the members that were
No,
were
it has to be voted
disrupted
on,
by-
ma'am. It goes to the members and is voted on, and
We
that
are
didn't happen.
litigating the bylaws, Your Honor. If we wanna do a corporate action, Mr. Brown's welcome to bring that in another tribunal, proper jurisdiction. This is not that tribunal. We are here to concentrate on the 16th and the 20th of September, and that's it. I would move to strike any further questions that are outside of the scope of September 16th.
On the
September
16th,
20th.
was I a member of the American Legion
Yes,
in good standing?
as of 12:01 AM, yes, you were.
So as 12:01 AM on the 16th, I was in good standing.
That is correct.
And then on the 20th, I was in good standing, member of the American Legion.
Yes, you were.
And, so there's no other accusations about harassment other than recording, correct?
Yes, because you were asked not to do it, and and I asked you myself not to record me, and you still recorded me. So yes, I do consider that harassment.
So I disobeyed you.
No, you didn't, stop recording me when I asked you nicely not to record me.
And, how did you ask me?
I told you, I said, don't record me, I don't wanna be recorded, and you still ignored me, and you reached over Mr. Dill and kept on recording me.
Okay, I'm talking on the 16th. We're on, I ain't got to the 20th.
On the
yet.
16th?
Yes.
On the 16th?
On the
I told-
16th we're talking.
I told you not to record the meetings, and I told you not to record the members, because they didn't wanna be recorded, and you still ignored it, and you said you turned off your camera, which I stated earlier, that we found out that you had recorded the whole meeting and you were live streaming it, which is unacceptable.
Is that against the bylaws?
Again,
We're not talking about the
it
bylaws.
doesn't matter.
Okay, it's unacceptable to you, right? So, when you say
To our
unacceptable,
members,
what
because they don't
standard?
wanna be recorded.
Okay,
Alright, I think we've established the information on the 16th, let's move on to the 20th.
Okay.
There was an allegation that, you were going to stomp on Mr. Rodriguez, and then there's the further allegation of the social event of videotaping without permission.
okay, so on the 20th, so videotaping without permission on the 20th also, is that what you're saying?
Yes.
And then So, if I videotaped the whole thing, did you see me say that I was gonna stop you on the video?
I haven't seen the video. I haven't gone through the whole video.
Did you watch any of the videos?
Part of them, yes.
And you did come on the YouTube channel and comment on them, right?
Yes, I did.
And your YouTube channel is your own name, right? Abraham Rodriguez or
I don't know what it is.
Abe Rodriguez?
I don't know what it is.
Okay. But that's your name, right? Abe, is it Abe or Abraham?
My legal name is Abraham.
Okay.
Relevance, Your Honor, what's this got to do with September 16th and
well-
September 20th?
So you watched the, when did I say I was gonna stop you, in what context? I just walked up and said, I'm gonna stop you? I wanna figure out the context of it.
Do you have a date, Your Honor?
The 20th,
In the allegation, it says.
April
defendant
20th.
Threatened Abraham
I mean-
Rodriguez, who is the commander of the post,
Yeah.
that he was
So-
going to stomp on.
Fair enough, Your Honor, I'll withdraw.
So that was on the 20th, and so if I was recording, that'll be recorded, that I said I'm gonna stop you. Can you put that in context? How did I say that?
When I asked you to stop recording, you said, I'm just gonna stop you. But sure, you edit your films.
Okay, the live stream, I was live streaming, correct? You said I was live streaming?
You were live streaming the meeting,
Yes, okay,
not the other parts. The meeting is what I said that you were live streaming, and it's on YouTube.
okay. So you didn't see me say I'm gonna stomp you on YouTube? Did you see the video of me saying that?
It wasn't on YouTube, you told me personally. But that video's not on there. The only video that you have was the live streaming of the meeting.
Okay, so I want to put this in context, so tell me exactly, I walked up to you and said that, or you walked up to me, how did that happen?
You said it when I asked you to not record me.
And I said, I'm gonna stomp you,
Yes,
okay? And what other harassing things that I did? Is this it? So I'm gonna stomp on the 20th, I'm talking about the 20th now. So I was filming without your permission,
not just my permission, everybody else's permission.
I was filming, I was
Okay,
recording,
This is cumulative at this point.
Yes.
You've asked and answered these questions.
yes.
Okay.
So
You
I'm just
have-
trying to get at, that I never said I'm gonna stomp him, he's just making this up, so.
Well, you're gonna get a chance to testify. So this is his observation and his testimony and his perception. You've established it. What other questions do you possibly have that are relevant to these
So,
dates?
so that's the other, so no other things harassing other than the stomping and the filming, that's it.
The other allegation says that, the statement of when asked to stop, he says, who's going to stop me?
All right? Is that true? I said, who's gonna stop me?
Yes,
And is that harassing?
yes.
Okay, all right. I have no further questions.
Okay, Mr. Rodriguez, you may be excused. And Mr. Brown, I'd like an offer of proof as to what other questions you have that are different and will have different.
I want to cross-examine each one of them to see what they, I would have rather do it right after they talk because it was fresh in my mind. This is really hard to do it this way. I wasn't expecting this, So I was expecting to be able to hear their testimony, get up and cross-examine each one. Now I got to remember what each one said, and that's hard for me. The way you're doing this is just hard for me, and that's why I really don't like it. You as a judge, because you're not fair to me at all. And if I can't cross-examine each person after they was doing it, now I gotta go back and try to remember what each one of them said. And that's
So,
really hard for me.
Mr. Brown, I'm allowing you to ask questions of the witnesses. You've gotten out the information that pertains to these two incidences that are alleged. So you're effectively getting the information that you're requesting.
Yeah, but I gotta cross-examine each one, so as they're on the stand, I gotta remember what they said. If I did it right afterwards, like most all the other trials I've ever been to.
Mr. Brown, let's go
it's
ahead
easier.
and call the next witness. You can
Yeah.
ask them your questions about each date and that's it.
All right, let's call
So we had next.
Dill.
Mr. Dill.
Mr. Dillo. Mr. Dillo.
Alright. Let's
Oh,
bring in Mr. Dill.
do I need to get him?
Mr. Lamasano, would you actually ask Mr. Dill?
I'll do it for you, Judge.
Thank you.
Mr. Dillo, you're being recalled for cross-examination.
Hello, Mr. Dillo, please remember that you are still under oath. Remain seated.
Hello, sir, can you give me your full name?
Russell Leon Dillo.
All right, I'm gonna get right to the point here. So you're the judge advocate for Post 7?
Yes.
And what are your responsibilities to make sure they follow the bylaws? What's your responsibility?
That's
This is
basically it.
irrelevant information.
I just wanna know his responsibilities, just like he asked.
Well, then it's already been asked and answered, and it
Well-
is irrelevant to the 16th and the 20th.
Yeah, but I just wanna get, he's the judge, you're the judge advocate, and your responsibilities as judge advocate are what?
So, Mr. Brown,
I'm gonna object.
I have indicated that this has been asked and answered, and it's irrelevant. Move on.
All right. So, you was there on the 20th of September, correct?
Wednesday evening, yes.
Wednesday evening was the 20th of September. So, was you there when I walked in?
No,
You came after the fact?
yes,
And do you usually go to the Queen of Hearts?
yes.
And you go there most every Wednesday?
Intermittently.
Yeah. And on that Wednesday, when you walked in, did you see me?
No, I was greeting, as I came in, everybody was greeting each other. And so I wasn't looking for you or anybody, I didn't know you.
Yes.
I just walked in and said hello to people that I was walking by.
Okay. And then that's the first time you saw me? It's the first time we met?
Yes.
And do you remember walking up to me and telling me to stop recording?
Yes.
And you said, when I wouldn't, you said something like, we'll see what we can do about that?
No, that's after you made that threat about.
What threat?
About who's going to stop me.
Okay, I said that to you.
Yes.
Okay, so then you said, you're gonna see what you can do to stop me?
Yes.
And then you went outside talking to Abe about that?
Yes.
And you was talking to Abe about, how to stop me?
Yeah, we were going to get.
Again, this is now irrelevant.
Get an injunction, right? You was
No.
gonna, is that what you told him, we'll get an injunction to stop him?
Mr. Brown, the conversation between Mr. Dillo and Mr. Rodriguez is now irrelevant to the incident on the 20th that we're here to.
This happened on the 20th, I'm asking about the 20th.
I understand, but the entire day of the 20th is not relevant.
No, this is at the meeting, we're talking about at American Legion on the 20th.
It was on the 20th at the Queen of Hearts. After I told you to stop, I told you twice. Then that's when we said, I'll see what we can do. I was outside and I was with Abe.
Yes, and that was a pretty short period of time, right? Was it all within 20 minutes?
I don't know, it was less than an hour.
Yeah, so the Queen of Hearts drawing is at 6:30, correct?
Yes.
And you came in right before the drawing?
No,
You didn't come before the drawing?
no.
Oh, you
I
came.
I got there around 5:30.
Oh, so the drawing's at 6:30, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you was there before the drawing?
Yeah, see, the purpose of the post is camaraderie and have a beer and talk to people, socialize.
Yeah, so you was there an hour before the,
I don't know, that's what I say, it's between a half hour and an hour before the drawing.
Your Honor, on my direct examination, I don't remember asking Mr. Dillo any time frame questions. And I know Mr. Brown's not a lawyer, but cross-examination is limited to the scope of the questions that were asked on direct. So I'm gonna ask that you either admonish him or advise him that the questions he asked on cross-examination are limited to the areas of examination that I went into on my direct.
So your cross-examination needs to focus on the areas on direct.
but I'm
I
not
think
allowed to
you've
bring him back.
Established that he was there and the contact between. So I will also find that this is cumulative and it is unnecessary.
Okay. So the time he was there was within an hour, and did I come in before the drawing at 6:30?
You were there when I got there.
I was there at 5:30?
I don't know, you were there when I got there.
So again, this is asked and answered. The very first question he stated was that when he walked in, you were already there. So I have that information, Mr. Brown.
So you're saying I was there at 5:30?
Mr. Brown, move on.
All right, so let's talk about what you saw me do. Let's talk everything that you saw me do.
You had this contraption on one of the tables. You had a camera in your pocket, I think it was your phone, and then you had another camera pinned to your shirt.
Okay? And is that harassing?
The way it was done, yes.
Okay? All right, so, and was I sitting at a table?
Yes, when I approached you, yes, you were at a table.
Yes. Was I at a table by myself?
When you and I were talking, yes.
Okay? And you told me to stop recording and what else?
I think you said you have a First Amendment right to film, and that there's no law against filming. And I said, well, if we put up a no smoking sign, that's not a law either, but people would not smoke. And we had a sign up that said no videoing, and so you should not video.
Did you remember saying there's not a law against running around naked, but there's no sign that says you can't do that, but there ain't. You remember saying that?
I didn't say that, I don't recall that.
Yeah. All right. So we're gonna have to put up some videos here. And then, so what else, so besides recording, there's no other harassment that I did to you besides recording it?
No, just the part where you said, who's going to make me? It was a kind of a challenge, a threat. That's the way I took it.
All right. And you thought I was harassing you by saying that?
I thought you were in violation of the rules of the post.
What, the bylaws? What rules?
No, the rules that say no video, and you were videoing.
Is that a rule? That's a sign, you mean?
Well, you can call it what you want, but you're not supposed to video when the sign says no video.
Okay. But it's not in the bylaws, you're talking about
No.
just the sign.
Asked and answered, Your
Okay,
Honor.
this
Yeah.
is again asked and answered and already covered.
And so the signs are the rules, is what you're saying?
It's a rule of the post, yes.
And did you ever notice that sign up there before in the past?
I think I'd been there a couple days before. I saw it a couple days before.
So the sign was just put up.
I'd say it was put up, yes, sometime in September, I believe.
As Judge was you part of the process of putting the sign up?
No.
Your Honor, objection, beyond the scope of my direct.
So again, this is irrelevant. He's testified as to his observations of the sign when he believed he saw it first. But that's all the relevant information.
So when I was sitting at the table, like when you was talking to me, I never stood up, I was sitting at the table the whole time, right?
Yeah, you stood up, I believe.
When you was outside, or when
No,
I was at
we were
the
at the
table?
table.
Okay, and what else, so besides recording, no other harassment, right? Is that what we're getting at?
I think I've already answered that.
Yeah,
Yes,
all right,
it's asked and answered.
all right.
Okay, I can't imagine there's any further questions. May this witness be excused?
Yep. All right.
Accused? I can go?
Mr. Brown? maybe-
Yes.
Maybe,
Well, he's not, yep,
I'm
we're
going,
done.
you've had an opportunity to cross-examine him, he's been presented by the plaintiff. I'm going to excuse him at this
All
juncture.
right,
Okay, Mr. Dillo, you are excused.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you want me to get Adela in here?
Yes.
Thank you, Judge.
I'll get it.
Okay, well, I'll hold it.
Adela, por favor.
Hello, you remain under oath, so.
all right. So, on the 16th of September, you wasn't there, correct? At the meeting?
What meeting?
American Legion Post 7 meeting on the 16th of September,
I don't know what day is that?
Saturday,
No, I was not there.
okay? The following Wednesday was the 20th,
Correct,
and you was at the American Legion on the 20th,
correct.
okay? And, at the 20th, you was sitting at the desk selling tickets, right?
At the table? Sound?
Yes, at the,
Yes, correct,
there's a table that sells the tickets to the Queen of Hearts.
correct,
And you was sitting there with Mike Jacobs, I believe,
correct.
and both of you were selling tickets.
Correct.
When I walked in to buy tickets, do you remember me buying tickets?
No, I don't.
Okay, so Mike Jacobs was the one handing out the tickets, right? Is he usually the one that does the
Your
tickets?
Honor,
Or
this is
both?
beyond the
This is
scope of my direct.
irrelevant.
There was no questions about ticket sales from Ms. Adela.
Well, she was saying that I put handkerchief over on the 20th, correct?
On your camera,
Yes.
when you were sitting on your chair, way over there, in the chair that
Yes.
we told you that was broken?
Yes, that
Yes.
wasn't the 20th, was it?
Yes, it was the 20th.
Okay, you told me the chair was broken?
Yes, we told you. Mike
Who's
and
we?
I both told you.
Okay, Mike,
Mike and I both told you.
okay,
I told you first and you ignored me, then Mike went and told you. He said, that chair is broken. He said, that's why we had it over there near the machine.
okay, so, is that harassing for me sitting on a broken chair?
We were looking after, you were upset because we told you that the chair was broken. He goes, well, I can hear if I want to. We go, it's broken. We were just looking after you and you got upset because we told you.
Okay, how did I get upset?
Because you said, I can sit wherever I want. That's how you said it.
I said that.
You said
Okay,
that.
all right. So, what else, on the 20th, when I was sitting on that chair that was broken, and then I had a camera, a gimbal, like this,
A smaller one, yeah,
So you put,
a napkin
you put a napkin on
Over
the
the
20th over my camera,
over the lens, yes.
over the lens.
Yes.
And when that was sitting right in front of me, how was I sitting? Like if I was at the table, where was that at?
You
Was
had it like this,
Yes. So I had it held in my hand.
and you had it right there, and you had it actually on the table. And I put
Okay.
a napkin over it.
All right,
And then you got
okay.
it, and then you put it closer to you, and I said, you can't record. I said, we asked you not to record. I don't know how many times we asked you not to record.
How many times?
Many times, every time you come in, we've asked you to come in. You've done this already for like 4 times already, have you been coming in? 3 times?
Oh, you tell me how many times I come in?
You come in whenever you want, 3 times, 4 times, whenever you come in, you come around, you've been there about the last 3 times. You threatened.
Okay, this is on the 20th. So before the 20th, you saw me there?
If you came on the Wednesday before then, I think you came in the Wednesday before then.
Okay, so how many times before the 20th did you see me come in there?
You know, I'm not gonna, I have to go back to my phone and look at it.
This is about the 16th and
20th.
20th.
Yes,
So.
but she's saying several times before that, and I was never in there before that. That was the first time I was allowed back in there for a year. So I'm just trying to get,
So, ask her about what she said and requested on the 20th, that's what's relevant
Yeah.
here today.
well, she said I was there several times before the 20th.
Well, that's irrelevant, because we're only talking about the
Yeah.
20th, so.
But it's
ask
also
her
not
about the
truthful.
20th.
Yeah, so, on the 20th, you already knew me before I came in, before the 20th, you knew me.
You won, last year, didn't you come in last year when you won the Queen
I'm
Park?
asking, so do you saw me the year prior, a year before that, you're
I know
saying?
who you are, yes, I know who you are.
So you saw me before, a year before that? Is that what you're saying?
I
Relevance, Your Honor.
Yeah,
Objection.
She's the one that said, Your Honor, that I, several times before the
Well, it
20th,
is
so.
your obligation in your questioning to keep the witness on track to the relevant date and time.
Yes, the 20th, we're talking about the 20th, and I just wanna know, so the
Ask
20th is the
her
first time you saw me?
On the 20th,
I saw
what
you.
she said to you.
I
Yeah.
did see you on the 20th.
You saw me the 20th?
Yes.
But not before?
So
You-
we're only talking about the 20th, it doesn't matter when she
Yeah.
saw you before.
So on the 20th, what else happened besides the napkin? You testified earlier that I put a napkin, you put a napkin over my phone when it was sitting right in front of me, right?
Right.
And then then I moved my phone back.
And that's what we told you regarding the chair. And then I walked away from you because I was afraid you were gonna fall and you were gonna blame us, so I walked away from you.
Oh, you was afraid I was gonna fall with the chair?
Yes.
Okay. So you was worried for my safety?
I was worried for the safety of you getting injured and then accuse us of doing some harm to you.
All right, and that chair was still in the hall? You're talking about the chair that was just sitting there in the hall?
No, it wasn't sitting in the hall, it was near in the far corner that we had moved out of the way near
Yes.
the closet.
Okay, in the hall, yeah, right next to the Queen of Hearts,
Yes.
yes. All right, so the only thing harassing still is I was filming, and how do you know that I was filming?
Because you had your camera out and you were showing, you were filming.
Yeah, so
You were seeing it on your phone.
I was seeing it,
Yeah, you could see it.
so you walked behind me.
No,
then.
because you were going like this, and you could see the phone being recorded.
Okay, and that's the day that you was selling the tickets, and you don't remember me buying the tickets.
I might have stopped away, or maybe I was talking to somebody else or picking up some popcorn. I did not sell you the tickets.
All right. Was I allowed to buy tickets, you know?
Objection, relevance, Your Honor.
This is irrelevant whether you could buy tickets or not, Mr. Brown.
All right. All righty, I have no further questions.
Okay, I will excuse this witness, Miss Adela.
Can I leave?
Yes, you may. You may leave. Okay, thank you. And then I think last, we have Ms. Gutierrez. Hello, Ms. Gutierrez. Come on up and have a seat, and please know that you are still under oath.
Your Honor, I should point out that this is a fragile witness. I'm not gonna tolerate any misbehavior when it comes to questioning
I agree.
this witness.
So, Mr. Brown, you can ask her about.
What did he say? I didn't hear what he says. What witness?
I'm asking you to be respectful of the witness.
Okay.
You can ask her questions about, I believe the 20th was the only incident that Ms. Gutierrez was, questioned about on.
That's correct, Your Honor. It
Correct.
would only be the 20th.
So you can ask her about the 20th.
Ma'am, can you state your name?
This is Ms. Gutierrez that has already been recalled.
Okay, all right, I
So
just
we
wanted,
have that
all right.
information in the
All
record.
right, so can you tell me, was you there on the 20th of September?
Yes, I was the first time you was causing trouble. I was the first time, the second time, and the third time. I've been there.
We're talking about the 20th.
Yes, I was there.
So you didn't see me before the 20th, you just saw me on the 20th, correct?
I was there.
So, Mr. Brown, we're only talking about the
Yeah.
20th. It doesn't matter
I know.
who she saw before the 20th.
But she just said something about first, second, third time, and I was trying to,
So, Mr. Brown, it is your question that is concerning.
okay,
Her
I'm,
response is her response, but you are under an obligation to not ask irrelevant questions or to go outside of the direct examination or what's in the petition. So ask
all
her
right,
about.
on the 16th, so you wasn't there on the 16th.
Already established, asked
So,
and answered.
so you was there only on the 20th, so we're talking about just one day, you saw me on the 20th, okay? Tell me, and you saw me recording, correct?
Yes,
And how do you know I was recording?
because I saw you.
You saw me recording, you saw me with the camera in my hand,
Yes,
okay? And that's harassment to you?
yes,
So, and, was the camera pointed at you? Or was it,
Yes.
did you ever walk up to me?
I was set back on you, behind.
Okay, you was set back behind, you was in a chair, you was sitting?
You can answer where you were sitting
I
in
was sit in the tables.
You was sitting at the tables.
Yes.
And I was sitting at a table.
No, you was sit back there, over there by the machine, and then you was recording everybody.
I was sitting at a table recording everybody,
Yes,
okay? And, I was at a table by myself?
I was so upset that I went home and my blood pressure was 180,
Okay.
and you the cost of it.
Okay, was
And
talking,
they told you to leave and you will not leave. Please.
who told me to leave?
The people in there, my
Okay.
people at the post.
Do you know that, am I a member of the American Legion Post 7, do you know?
the. Irrelevant.
I do not know.
This is irrelevant.
Are you a member of American Legion Post 7?
Yes, I would belong to post 59 for 17 years.
59?
I belong to the Marine Legion for lifetime.
Oh, so,
Don't ask me questions like that.
so you're a member of Post 59?
For 17 years.
Okay.
59,
this is
okay.
Irrelevant, Mr. Brown.
All right, you're not gonna let me answer any questions, all right, ma'am, I'm done. All right, I see where this can go,
I'm
ma'am.
allowing you to
You are
answer
very
that.
unfair to me, you won't let me do anything, I'm just trying to get some basic questions. I have no further questions, ma'am, you're done.
Well, if
Thank
that's
you.
your strategy,
Yep,
that's.
this is what you're doing to me, ma'am.
I'm not,
Yes,
I'm
you are.
allowing you to ask relevant questions.
Yes, I'm just gonna wait to hear your nonsense at the end like you did
Oh my
last time.
goodness.
Mr. Brown,
I'm done. So-
Mr. Brown, I'm
yes.
finding that you are strategically no longer asking any questions. The court is not barring you in any way,
Yes.
shape, or form of asking.
You're gonna stop me
relevant
every time, so I'm just gonna
questions.
end this interview, so thank you,
That's
ma'am.
fine.
You can sit down, I'm done.
Ms. Gutierrez, thank you. You are excused and you're free to go.
But I don't wanna see him again.
I understand. You are free to go. Thank you. Okay. Mr. Brown, you have had an opportunity to cross-examine all of the plaintiff's witnesses. You've had an opportunity to present your witness. I will allow you an opportunity to, take the stand yourself at this point.
Yes, all right.
So you're gonna need to come on over to the witness stand, sir.
All right. Let's see. And I can't raise my right hand up anymore.
Okay. Do you swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. You may be seated. Go ahead and state your name for the record.
Gotta raise this up. It does. All right, my name's Mark Brown. All right, I'm a member of American Legion Post 7 for 7 years now. And I got, or Dave Crota and me both got suspended for nothing. There wasn't no recording
Okay,
involved in
Mr.
that.
Brown, this is about the 16th and the
I got it.
20th.
So, after the year suspension, I went back because of everything that happened. I have to record everything that goes on in there because they lied. It's just me being there because of the commander. The commander, Abe, had it out for me and Dave and took it amongst himself to get rid of us without a trial. By not following the bylaws, they made us not go there for a year. So that day, we was allowed to go back there. There's nothing in the bylaws about recording. And we have to record because of all the lies made up by the commander. The commander's getting all these people riled up. I wouldn't have ever been in the recording if they didn't attack us. All the stuff that happened, I wouldn't be recording. As a matter of fact, I wasn't even gonna go to the American Legion anymore until they did that to Dave and threw us out. I was telling Dave at that time, it's the last time that we're not even gonna be a member there. I said, I was just gonna let it go until they threw us out. Then I decided to go ahead and re-up my membership. Even though they threw me out for a year, and it was done by Abe here, you know? And he was saying that he tried to resolve, when he was on the stand, that he came up and tried to resolve nothing. He never came up and talked to me ever about nothing. You know, why I had to record, he just comes up and barks orders at me and tells me, you know, what I can and can't do. At the meetings, you know, there's nothing that keeps you from recording the meetings. As a matter of fact, when we came in that day, before they even started the meeting, they say their little thing going, they tried to put a motion to stop recording. The previous commander put in a motion not to record, but then they stopped it because they didn't swear in the meeting yet. So once they put it, the commander has one vote. So the thing is, everyone has to agree on what happens at the meetings and stuff. It's supposed to be ran by the members. They vote. The commander gets one vote.
Your Honor, I fail to see the relevance of this testimony.
Yes,
in the structure and how
Yeah.
the American Legion is
Well,
run.
that's
is not
what this
on
is all
trial.
about, is because they're not following their structure. So
Well, but that's not why we're here today. We're here here
You're
today
here because
about,
there's no rules against recording the meeting, and I'm here because I was recording. And I've
okay,
gotta
well,
record.
then that's your
That's what I'm saying, but.
Okay,
but
I'm accepting your
I have
testimony.
I have to record there, because if not, I would have no defense. You know, so I got the recordings of that I never did what she said. And I would like to put them up and watch the videos, because that's gonna tell us exactly what happened. If we would just watch the video, the whole thing's on video. So
I'm not gonna find that whatever 2 hours of video is relevant, but I'll allow you to play your interaction with, Ms., was it Gonzalez, and, see that interaction. I'll allow you to play that. Okay, so whatever portion,
Adela Gonzalez?
yes, is that what you're saying?
Uh,
You're refuting her
well,
testimony and saying?
yes,
that
and yes, Adela, about me, she putting the handkerchief, that whole thing was not the truth. It never happened, you know.
Okay, so
That
that's
didn't
your
happen until the 11th, when they attacked me and broke all my equipment. It wasn't, that's when that happened. She was getting the dates mixed up.
Okay,
And
so
so
that's your
that never,
testimony?
ever happens, and I'm testifying against that. That
Okay.
never happened.
Okay.
You know, she never came up and put the thing over it twice. She did that just on one day. And I will testify to that, but all this is on video, exactly what happened. And so I was sitting there and we can't even talk about that date that she's talking about, because that was on the 11th of October, when the day I was served. On this paper, what day does it say I was served? It's 11th, correct?
The service occurred,
I believe it was 11th of October. I'm just going by memory.
yes. It was the 11th of October.
Yes.
Um,
So all her testimony is just mixed up, because she's testifying on that day, and that's not on the date. But nothing happened with the napkin on the 20th.
okay,
So on the 11th, all that happened, and I really can't go over that because you won't
no,
really let me.
because that's not pertinent
But I
to
wasn't
the
served.
application here.
Yeah, I was served on the 11th,
I understand, so we're not talking about the 11th.
yes.
We're talking about what happened on the 20th. Were you recording on the 20th?
Okay, on the 20th of October,
No,
yes.
September.
I mean, I'm sorry, on the 20th of September,
Did you come?
and
to
the 16th was the meeting on a Saturday.
Correct.
And on the 20th, I was recording, I walked in recording, correct.
Okay,
And I walked in and sat down, I didn't say nothing to nobody.
okay.
I just walked in
Which door did you walk in?
the main door.
Okay, and was there a sign on the main door?
I didn't notice the sign at that time, I wasn't thinking about no sign, but I did walk in and sit down, and I was recording.
Okay,
Okay,
and you walked in
there's,
from the front?
yes,
Okay. You walked in and sat down and you were recording?
yes.
Um,
And
did-
I was,
Did anyone come up and ask you to not record?
you know what, they came up, some people came up, like Dill came up and told me that he's gonna see what he can do about this, about recording. I don't know if he actually told me not to record, or even asked me if I was recording, but all that's irrelevant, because just because you put a sign there, or tell you to stop recording, the second I stop recording is when they'll attack me, like it happened on the 11th. If I wasn't recording, you know, I'm facing 6 charges on that, you know, because of what they did to me, and it's all based on lies too. And the Tucson police, they call them every time I walk in there, they call the police on me. So I record the police. If it wasn't for the first time I started recording was when they called the police on me, and I recorded the police inside there. So
Is this relevant to September 16th?
So that's why-
Or are we talking about October 11th?
it is why I'm recording. You gotta understand, I'm allowed to record just because you tell me. It's just like the rapist, the person. I don't want you. You know, I don't want you to record me when I'm raping you, or, you know, I'm gonna record the actions of these guys that are attacking me. And if they wouldn't have did none of that, I wouldn't be recording. I never came in there with a purpose of recording them until they started attacking us. Then I have to protect myself because of all the lies. Recording is not harassment. It's what the harassers are doing to me that's harassment.
Okay, so at this point, you're getting into argument. Do you have any further testimony that you would like to put on the record as to the 16th and the 20th?
Yes, so basically I didn't harass nobody. I walk in there and I sat down. I didn't do anything. Recording is not harassment.
Again, you're
so-
making legal determinations.
Yes.
I just wanna know your perspective from that day.
As I was recording,
and what happened.
I knew the bylaws. I was following the bylaws of there. That's what they go by, the bylaws. So when I came in there, I was following the bylaws.
This has nothing to do whether you follow
I know.
bylaws or not.
But if they was following the bylaws, I wouldn't be here. So that's the problem, you know? So that's the issue.
Okay, so you came in and you recorded on both the 16th and the 20th.
I came in recording
Okay,
because of the harassment of what they did to me in the past.
Okay.
I came in recording,
okay,
and I was gonna record everything they did to me.
okay. And you were recording the entire time you were there?
Mostly, yes.
Okay,
Actually, when I walked in and sat down on the first, on the 20th, I walked in and sat down, and I had the recording set up and on, but I wasn't recording.
okay.
I didn't record till they started coming up to me. So, but I had it on. So, as you know, there's a red button, and then you hit it and it goes black when you're recording. Okay, so I walked in there with my gimbal, and my light's on here.
Yes.
Oh, I didn't even know that till now. Anyway, so I walked in and sat the thing down on the table, and I wasn't recording at that time. Then, when they started coming up to me, then I hit the record. So, and that's probably gonna show on the videos more. So let me get to that. Let's see here.
Do you have a section of the video? I'm not gonna
Yes.
find that the entire thing is relevant. So I'll
Yes.
allow you to play a short section of the video. Is this gonna be from the 16th or the 20th?
Let's do the let's do the 20th. Let's see here. All right. Gotta bring it up.
Mr. Brown, are you gonna be able to cast it to the screen?
I don't know how to do that.
So you just need me to, is it just on your phone?
How do you know how do I cast that? Can I set that up?
What kind of phone do you have?
I have a Galaxy Ultra.
So it's probably gonna be under the Android. Do you know how to Chromecast from your Android?
I don't see here. Let's see.
If not, we can just view it up here on the bench like we did with.
Let's see.
All right, Mr. Brown, do you have it ready?
No, I'm trying to find where to cast it. First I'm gonna try to get the spot here.
So why don't you get to the spot and then just bring it around here, because in interest of time, I'll just view it on your phone.
Oh, wait a second, when I do that, let's see, cast. Searching for devices.
Probably need to
A code?
connect, so see on the connection, you can either use the QR code to connect, so you can hold your, and then,
Link with TV code?
sure, you can try
So I-
using the Wi-Fi name and the password.
See, enter TV code. Do you have a TV code?
So you should scan the QR code, and then
Let's see, how do you scan that? I don't know how to do that.
you would have to go to your photo, or to your camera to scan it.
Your Honor, perhaps I can speed this up. Let's just assume arguendo, whatever he says, this video testimony proves. I think it's irrelevant, and I'm gonna ask him to hurry up and finish his case. I need to move for directed verdict, Your Honor. I think you heard everything that you need. There's nothing further. I don't need to make any arguments. We just need to move on, Your Honor.
So, Mr. Brown, I'm not gonna worry about you being able to cast it. I'll look at the.
I don't wanna be rushed now, because I really wanna get this
understand.
done. I'm not gonna be able to do this in 5 minutes.
So, show me on your phone the short portion of video that you wanna show,
All right, let's see here.
okay? We don't need to worry about casting it. We don't have a jury here, it's just me.
But I have several videos from the 20th and the 16th, so I wanna go over both of them.
Show me this video.
Yep.
And I'll decide whether any further video may be cumulative or not,
Okay, see here.
okay?
Yeah, I know they started that with me. Yeah, they started that with me because they attacked me there several times, and you want to come and physically try to stop me, I was gonna be.
So, what I'm trying to get at is, I never threatened him at all. He was saying on the stand that I threatened him, and I never even stood up. You know, I was just sitting there. That's the only interaction I had with him. It was a very short thing. So you saw the whole interaction with him. So that's with just with Mr. Dill.
Okay.
So, and he just walked up to me when I was sitting at the table, and there's one person next to me, you know, and he didn't say nothing to that guy, but there was a guy next to me. There's another port in here.
What is the other part that you want to show?
Is that?
What is the other part that you
It
want?
was somebody else, it wasn't with him. That was the only interaction pretty much with him, other than on the outside when I was leaving with him. So let's see here.
Well, the testimony was about what happened inside the post. So
Yes, and that was,
what is relevant.
and you just saw the whole thing with that. It was just
Okay.
short and sweet.
Okay.
And he said, we'll see what we can do about that to stop me from recording, which I'm just sitting there, and this is my body cam, I do believe, this one. But I would like to, the whole time I was sitting here, you gotta understand, the whole time I was sitting here, nothing was really happening. I was just sitting there. I wasn't being harassed. So 90% of this is just me sitting there, not no one saying nothing to me. Just me sitting there. So the whole thing, there's probably 30 minutes of me
don't need to see 30 minutes.
There's probably 30 minutes of me sitting there and nothing's happening at all. I'm just sitting there. I bought tickets and I played the Queen of Hearts. So I bought $20 worth of tickets and I sat there. They had the drawing and nobody was leaving. It's like they was all saying that everybody leaves after the drawing. It happens at 6:30. So I was sitting there and doing nothing but sitting there. And that's all. There was no harassing going on at all. And if they wouldn't have been doing all that, I wouldn't have ever posted anything, you know. The only reason was because I was being harassed by this post. This was the first time that I was allowed to even be back there. Because they kept me away for a year, you know, for that bogus suspension. And then when I came back here, I was allowed to be here. And then they came up and did this to me. You know, so basically that was the this here's the 20th, and really nothing else happened on the 20th, other than me recording and them. You know, they didn't assault me on the 20th.
Okay.
You know,
We're not talking
and then
about
on,
October.
but the 16th. Then on the 16th. Okay, I gotta find this video here. Okay, here's the whole video. And this is a short one. Ugh. Wish I could screen. I don't know if you guys can see this too. I can hold it for all of you to see it. So this is the whole video of the thing that they showed that wasn't edited. It's only 3 minutes long. But again, was flipping around.
Your Honor, I believe this is cumulative at this point. There's no new information.
This is the same video from.
No, this is on the 16th, not the 20th. This is on the 16th when we had the meeting.
Videoing inside the Legion.
What's that?
That's inside.
Yeah.
the Legion.
Yes, this is inside the meeting hall. We just got done with the meeting, and then we're allowed to go out to the bar. So they were saying things to me is why I turned it on. They started harassing me before I turned it on. And then I turned it on after they started that. This one goes just, it's all real boring until they come up to right here. So,
Your Honor, the video I showed was from the 16th inside the post of the meeting on
here,
Saturday.
he's talking. What's that?
The video that I showed was September 16th at the meeting.
Yes, right. That's what I'm showing
So
right now.
there's nothing new here.
That
It's
was
cumulative.
that was edited. That was I told you before. They took an edited version that someone else did with a parody to every which way but loose. That they took that from here, you know, and made a parody. But
And that's-
his parody means nothing. But here's the part you need to see. See, they're threatening me. So this is very important right here. This is the part they didn't show you in that video. But this is very important to see. So I walked away from them. They started grabbing me, and I walked away.
I'm asking you to leave. He's gonna throw me out. I'm asking you to leave. You need to share life with each other. But you need to be good. It's not in your. Oh, it's shit.
Okay.
Let's not get physical with each other. We're aggressive. You need to leave. Record me all you want, dude. You need to leave.
So right there, record me all you want. He's giving me permission to record. He's saying record me all you want.
But you had been previously told to not record
By
Mr. Rodriguez.
Yes.
Who would then
And he
come out
probably
and
says a
still
lot of-
recording, and that was still recording.
Yes.
Okay. And you posted this to the internet as well?
No, this wasn't posted. The parody was, someone made a parody of it. This wasn't posted.
How did that person get the video from you?
It was gave to him. I gave him several videos.
Okay,
There's videos.
okay, so you
And-
gave some
and I don't think-
videos to post on the internet from.
No, for whatever reason, they made a parody that they played, which really has no relevance. The parody, that was about Every Which Way You Can.
Okay, so,
You're not gonna let me finish the video?
excuse me.
This is a short one.
I've-
Stop recording, still recording. Just violating.
So, I can see that you were asked to stop recording and it is continuing. So,
Yeah.
it is.
So recording.
It's cumulative.
See, I understand. That's why it's not that you're not a fair judge. Recording is not against the law. If they
So,
harassing me is.
Mr. Brown,
So
this is your testimony opportunity about what occurred. I've allowed you to
Yes.
present the videos.
I
I've
haven't.
allowed you to testify.
yeah, this is one video in several that I really need to show.
That,
you know.
I think that would be cumulative at this point, Mr. Brown. I can see what was happening. I can see the recording. I can see the reaction of the people in the American Legion to the recording.
Saying I was threatened. I'm gonna grab your ass and throw you out. So there's no reason for any violence at all. And this is what
Okay,
these guys
so-
are doing. And it's done by him. He sent that guy over there to throw me out.
Your Honor, this is a testimony.
So this is irrelevant to the hearing here. But I have received your testimony and you've presented everything about
I didn't. Yeah.
what you did that day.
You're
and
assuming I
what
did,
you
but I didn't.
received.
You're
Well,
assuming.
I've seen all the video.
You did not see all the video. You
I've
just saw
seen-
part of this one.
I've seen the pertinent parts of the video.
How do you know if you ain't seen the rest?
Because,
What's pertinent? You're not letting me decide what's pertinent. You're deciding what's pertinent.
well, no, I'm deciding what's pertinent based on what is in the allegation in the original petition, which is what the rules for protective order procedure hearings allow for. So I'm following the rules. I've seen what is relevant and pertinent to the hearing we are here for today, okay? So I have received
not-
your testimony.
Well, we still gotta get close. I have a lot of things to do still. And
So-
I would like to look at this other video that's very important to this case too.
What is that video?
I got one on the 20th too, but,
You showed me a section of the.
I showed you
20th.
one small section of one of the videos. There's several videos, you know, some of them are just 2 minutes long, some of them, so I stop them a lot so it's easy to upload. If you have an hour-long video, it takes forever, sometimes 2 or 3 days to
What are you
upload.
uploading to?
I have to upload them to view them. So we say I'm gonna send them to somebody or someone wants to look at them, I can't send long videos.
Okay.
So
you're-
I have to upload them to YouTube and then send them out in a link in a phone, so then anyone can view them that I want to send them to. So friends or whatever. So I can send them, but first I have to upload them. And uploading them takes a long time on long videos. So a lot of times I will be recording and I'll stop it and then start again. That's why this video is only 3 minutes. I stop them a lot, you know, because if not, we might have an hour and something long video that, you know, it's just a waste of time. You have to upload the whole thing and then send it, and then they can take clips out of that or whatever, whoever, you know.
Okay.
But the way I record is in segments a lot on the, when it's on the gimbal. Sometimes I record the whole thing, like the whole meeting I did record, you know? And like I said, I have to record the meetings because of what they're doing to me.
Okay.
So there's no reason not to record. There ain't no law that says you can't record the meetings.
Okay.
They made that up and put the sign up there right before I came. You know, within, I came testified for right before that, a week before, so.
Okay. All right, so I think I have heard and received all of the testimony that is relevant in this matter.
No, you haven't.
Yes, I have. I have heard the information presented by the plaintiff. I have heard all of the information that you've presented about why you're recording. I don't need to see all the recordings to make a finding in this matter. We are here about an injunction against workplace harassment, not about the bylaws, and how they exist and how they're promulgated and how they're changed of the American Legion. We're here about an injunction against harassment that pertains to
That they're harassing
recording
me.
at the American Legion and the request for you to stop recording and your reaction and behavior to those requests to stop recording and how that has affected the people at the American Legion. So I have heard the
Yeah, I understand your,
about that.
I understand your tainted view of it, and I know that's gonna be coming out like that, and I understand that, but you're acting like, again, there's recording is the problem. So, me recording their harassment, them harassing me is the problem, is why I'm recording. If it wasn't for none of that, then I wouldn't have been recording. That's what you gotta understand. It's
I
this real
understand
basic-
your argument. I understand.
And then, so basically, the whole meeting, he says, Abraham said I was disruptive at that meeting. But I was just sitting there recording. I was never disruptive. I made motions and we listened to there was a guest speaker. I asked questions. If you saw the whole meeting, you understand there was nothing harassing about it. You know, only them was upset about the recording. It was the leadership.
Okay.
You know.
Okay, I think that is your argument here, okay? So I'll accept that as your argument.
No, I'm
for
still gonna do closing, right? We have to do closing. I'm not doing closing from the bench or from the witness stand.
You've basically given me a closing.
I have a lot more to go on closing, but, it's not
So
gonna,
the rules require,
first he's gonna give his closing, right?
he's already indicated that he's resting on the record, so there is no closing to rebut. And the rules require that I give an opportunity to be heard, to present evidence, to call, examine and cross-examine witnesses.
Okay.
There is no requirement in these hearings that I allow for a closing argument. This is not a criminal matter. This is a civil matter. So I have heard the evidence presented by the plaintiff. I've heard the evidence presented by the defense. I understand your argument. I've allowed you to ostensibly give a closing, despite the plaintiff waiving and not presenting any closing. And
This
I
is
am
my
at
fourth
this-
time on this injunction there, and they always, in the other court, I always got a closing. I was always able to close, and I was able to go over my stuff and prepare my closing a little bit, and then get time and do it, and
I've
you're not.
heard it. You've just given
I
it.
didn't, I gave you a couple things, you didn't hear my whole closing, I have a whole lot of things to go over in closing, so.
Why don't you come sit down over here then? You've presented your information.
I would like to,
I don't see.
I would like to take a break and then, come back and do my closing.
We only have this time period right now. We're already over time and into lunch. So you can present further argument about the incidences specifically of the 16th and 20th, but that's it.
So you're not gonna be closed?
I just told you, you can present some additional argument if you have something else
So I
to
wanna
say.
I wanna take a break, I wanna go over my notes, and I wanna do a closing argument.
Mr. Brown, I am allowing you to add any additional statement beyond what you've just said here that was accepted as a closing argument for why you were recording, the fact that you were not disruptive through the rest of the meeting or on the 20th, that you were just recording. I'm accepting that as your argument. If you have something further to say about the incidences on the 16th and 20th, I will hear that, but I'm going to hear it now.
All right. And just the fact that it's hard to play a video to show that I never said I'm gonna stomp on him, because that absolutely is not true. And if we watched the whole video, we would see that.
I've accepted your testimony that you said you didn't do that.
It never happened, and
I've heard you testify about that. Okay.
all right. I guess we're gonna just get the railroad, just go ahead and get it. You're not gonna let me finish my closing argument.
I've given you an opportunity. If you have another thing to say about the incidents on the 16th or the 20th.
All right, we're done then.
Okay, if you are choosing to close with that, then I will find that you concluded your closing argument. I will find that the plaintiff has proven by a preponderance of the evidence that a series of harassing incidences occurred between the 16th and 20th of September of 2023. That the definition of harassment, I will read it here for you, and what I find to be the pertinent portion of the definition of harassment is a series of acts over any period of time that would cause a reasonable person to be seriously alarmed or annoyed. The act of recording individuals at the American Legion, which is a membership private organization, was seriously disruptive and alarmed and annoyed the members at the American Legion. That the commander of the American Legion, who was in charge of representing the American Legion, asked several times on both the 16th and the 20th for you to stop recording. You continued to record. I'll find that evidence was presented not only by the plaintiff, but by you directly, that you continued to record. I could see in the recordings that this was alarming and annoying to the individuals that were being recorded at the American Legion. And I will find that the plaintiff has established through all of their witnesses, all of whom had asked you to stop recording, they had all indicated that they found it to be annoying and alarming, particularly given the fact that you were also uploading that information to a public YouTube. It is clear from your videos, I can see in them that the recording is happening from several different devices. It is clear from the testimony that the information was then uploaded publicly on YouTube. These were intended to be private meetings and not open to the entire internet public. And that this behavior was then alarming and annoying to the members of the American Legion at Post 7. With that, I will also further find that Mr. Rodriguez and Ms. Gutierrez, in fact, were so annoyed and alarmed that it actually affected their physical health and caused such a significant increase in their blood pressure that they had to actually be hospitalized in relation to the incident on the 20th for specifically Ms. Gutierrez. And Mr. Rodriguez did testify that his blood pressure increased on the 20th as well. So this was, I think, further evidence and demonstration that goes to the preponderance that these individuals were alarmed and annoyed. They were enduring a physical, medical response to the behavior of recording them. With that, I will also find that the act of recording and uploading that information to the internet at a private meeting it's a reasonable response to be annoyed and alarmed at that behavior. And I will find that this was seriously alarming and annoying, particularly given the medical outcome that occurred for both Mr. Rodriguez and Ms. Gutierrez. So I will keep in place the injunction against harassment that had been issued in the petition back on September 21st of this year. It will remain in place for the next year. In that petition, you are required to not go within 100 feet of.
It says I can't
defendant.
record within 100 feet, is what it says, ma'am.
Defendant to stay 100 feet away from post 7. Defendant is to not videotape on the post property or within 100 feet of the post property. So that is the injunction parameters that were put in place when this injunction went into effect, when you were served on it on October 11th of this year, will remain in place because the plaintiff has proved the elements of harassing behavior by a preponderance of the evidence, which is required at this hearing.
Thank you, Your Honor. I would just add that the post property includes the easement for parking between the Seinfeld mansion and the post that's owned by that is owned by post 7, as well as the easement in the front sidewalk and the back patio.
So the 100-foot requirement, Mr. Brown, is for the entirety of the post 7 property.
Yeah, sure.
So not just the building itself, but the physical land property.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Okay,
May I be excused, Your Honor?
yes, thank you.
Do you know a written copy of that order?